Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, I want to observe a prayer according to individual faith, just for a minute. According to your faith, please, can we just pray for a minute, please? For a prayer. Amen. Thank you very much. We have our guest already seated, and I would like to mention the name, and as we did that, please, we give them a round of applause because they was favored by honoring my invitations to be here. This is a very wonderful moment. Please, as I call the name, please you help me put your hands together for them wonderfully. We have the first person we have there, the Father Brigadier General Hassan Lai. Please can you join your hands together, please. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your welcome. Honored to have you here today. And the second person is Dr. Ahmadu. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for coming. And also we have the next person we have Mohammed Hamza. Please can you help us put your hands together? If you have that. Jabi Ablahi, please, Jabi. Okay, sir, sorry, you can help us students together for it. It's more. All right, thank you very much. See you Professor. Dr. Joseph John. Please, can you join your hands together as a applause for them? All right, thank you very much. And also we have our able pilot, the one that is leading us well as a father, and no any other person but our own Professor Ahmadu. Please can you raise the dinner for everyone? Thank you very much. And thank you very much. Also, the extra occasion, no any other person but Napoleon Richard, our 300 level student. This is a great department, local government and development students study. May the Lord bless you all, and thank you for being here today. With all due respect, I'm here to call on the person who is coming for the opening remark, but no any other person but Director of the Institute. Here, please. Okay, still on the way. Oh, okay. So then then I have to call the second person. All right. Okay, please, let's take it up for this, please.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, my teachers and my fellow colleagues. Good morning, students. I'm honored that I was invited here to come and deliver this lecture, known as what the health implications of what sugar-sweetened beverages in Nigeria. Okay, so I'll be talking about this, following this outline. Okay, so first I'll give you some introductions. Okay, then factors that are driving increased consumption of what is sugar sweetened beverage. Okay, then I'll also talk about the recommended daily sugar intake. And I also want to tell you the difference between the natural and the processed sugars. Okay, then I'll also talk about the impact of these sugar sweetened beverages on the health. And I also talk about the socio-economic impacts of these sugar sweetening beverages. Then I'll tell you about the steps to mitigate the steps that are being put in place by various bodies to mitigate this consumption of the sugar sweetened beverages. By way of introduction, what is sugar sweetening beverages? Please, I hope you can see the slide. Okay. So by way of introduction, what's sugar sweetening beverages? These are just liquids or beverages with added sugars. These type of sugars are known as what? The artificial sugars. They come in different types. We have the brown sugar, we have the corn sweetener, we have corn syrup, we have dextrose, we have fructose. Even sometimes some kind of glucose powders too are also added. We have molasses, etc. There are so many types of added sugars, okay, that can be added into these beverages, okay. So whenever these sugars are added into these beverages, they are known as what? Sugar sweetening beverages. Okay. Examples of these sugar sweetening beverages, we all know them. One, we have the carbonated soft drinks, which we know as our Coke, Fanta, Sprite. Then we have the fruit-flavored drinks, the Chivita. Then we also have the energy drinks and the sport drinks. I'm sure some people in the morning, the first thing they take is their energy drink, what is their super, is this super commando? I don't know what they even call it. Powerhouse. Powerhouse, okay? Those things contain a lot of sugar actually. Then we have the sweetened tea and coffee drinks. Okay, so these are some examples of what? Sugar sweetening beverages. Here is just an image just showing some of them, which we already know. And by way of introduction, our country, Nigeria, is experiencing a rapid rise, okay, in consumption of these processed foods. In consumption of what? Processed foods and what? The sugar sweetening beverages, okay? And according to a body known as the Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa, Nigeria ranked 4th globally. Nigeria ranked 4th globally in the world in consumption of these sugar sweetening beverages, with an annual sales of approximately 38.6 million liters. So you can see that Nigeria is one of the countries in the world that consumes most of this sugar sweetening beverages. We are ranked 4th, and we've consumed approximately 38.6 million liters as at the year 2023. Now, the rise of consumption of these sugar sweetening beverages, okay, has also coincided with the rise of an increase in what? The non-communicable disease. This non-communicable disease, non-communicable disease by way of definition are just diseases that cannot be transmitted from one person to another, okay? So it's diseases like hypertension, diabetes mellitus, stroke, heart attack. So all these diseases, they are also increasing, coinciding with also the increased consumption of these sugar sweetening beverages, okay? So for instance now, a study done showed that the prevalence of hypertension among Nigerian adults over 20 years increased from 4.3 million in 1995 to 27.5 million in 2020. Which also coincides with the increase of these sugar sweetening beverages, okay? Then similarly, also in the this is known as what? Diabetes, which is the increase when your body loses the ability to control the sugar in your blood, okay? Also, this is known as diabetes. There's also an increase from 874,000 in adults in 1990 to 4.7 million in 2020, the prevalence has increased. It's so bad now that even usually these non-communicable diseases, such as hypertension or diabetes, they are usually found in the elderly, in the elderly among the adults, not not young individuals. Okay, but nowadays we are finding adolescents, teens having what? They are getting pre-diabetic even before the age of 25 or 30. Some people come down with what? Diabetes, okay? And this is also associated with the increased consumption of these beverages. So this is just a graphical illustration of the consumption of this sugar sweetening beverages in Nigeria, okay? This just shows the distribution of sugar sweetening beverages consumption in Nigeria among different sexes, that's the male and the female, from the age of 15 to 65. Okay. So the darker green bar going up there is just it's a bar that connotes the what? Carbonated drink. Okay. So as you can see, the green bar are the highest there among different age groups, showing that what? There is an increased consumption of what? Carbonated drink. That means carbonated drink is the highest, is the most consumed sugar sweetening beverages in Nigeria. Okay, both in the male and the female category. That's why you see the green bars up there. Now, what are the factors driving increased consumption of these sugar sweetening beverages? Okay, so one is the increased availability and affordability. These drinks are available everywhere and they are affordable. Even in these difficult times, this regime, these drinks are still available. They had to reduce the size so that people can afford it. So whether they will reduce the size or maybe bring it in a sachet form, whereby they make sure anybody can afford it. Understand? So there's always increase in availability of it. Okay, so that's one of the driver. Before you even see maybe like a natural orange drink or a natural fruit drink to take, I'm sure it's difficult to find, but I'm sure if you just look left or right, you see you have Coke, Fanta, anything, all those sugar, they are everywhere. So the availability is also driving the consumption. Okay? Then we have urbanization and lifestyle changes. When I say urbanization, what am I talking about? Urbanization is just it's a conversion, like a growing of a town to cities, you know. So what happened in urban areas? Urban areas, one, if you are working in urban areas, or let's say you are staying in urban area, most of the time you are busy doing one thing or the other. True of us. So because of the lack of time, you just want something quick to eat and move on, right? So this urban lifestyle also increase the consumption of these processed foods and all these sugar sweetening beverages, okay? Then also lifestyle changes too also increase the consumption of this. Then we have cultural and social norms. How? For instance now, when I attend a wedding or a birthday party, these are the first things that are what's served. Understand? So it's like now a social norm now. That when you go to a wedding or a birthday party, the first thing you will serve, they might not even serve you water, so some is Coke they will give you, or Fanta. And that's what some people want. Okay? Another factor that drives the consumption of these beverages are the lack of awareness of the health risk. Believe you me, some people don't know the risk, the health risk related to these beverages. In fact, some studies done when people were asked if there is any health benefit to these beverages that they are taking, some individuals actually thought that there are health benefits to these beverages, which is not true. Another driving factor that increases consumption is what? Weak policies or regulation. If there are no policies or regulations to regulate this industry, it will affect, it will increase the supply of these sugar-sweetened beverages, and thereby what? Increasing the availability and also what? Increasing the consumption. Okay? So we need policies that can try to control this availability of these beverages, and also policies that can, and also policies and regulation that can mitigate the production of these beverages. The another driving factor is the aggressive marketing and promotion. I'm sure whenever we see any advert on TV, usually most times this sugar, most of these companies that are producing all these processed foods or these beverages. Okay. So because of that aggressive marketing, it also increases the consumption of this. And when they are marketing these products, there's usually disinformation. They will not tell you the health risk when they are marketing these products. They will just tell you that it's good. Some will even tell you it will increase your intelligence and all sorts of things. So there's also misinformation in the marketing. So that aggressive marketing and promotion also increases the consumption of these sugar-sweetened beverages. Okay. Now, there is a difference between natural sugar and the processed sugar. Natural sugar are the sugars that are usually found in what? Fruits, natural fruits, vegetables, milks, or starchy foods like our rice, yam, or potatoes. Okay, those are natural sugars. While the processed sugars are the ones added to these sugar-sweetened beverages, known as what? The sweeteners. Okay, and also like the fructose, the corn syrup. Okay, these are concentrated sugars that are added to these beverages. Okay, so what's the nutritional value, the difference between the natural sugar and the processed sugar? The nutritional value. For the natural sugar, we also get what? Fibers, vitamins, and minerals. Okay? We don't get that in the processed sugar. Okay? There are no nutrients. Increased calorie, direct. And why is this fiber important? For instance now, if you consume, if you take yam or you take potato, because of the fiber they have, your body absorbs this sugar. It absorbs this sugar gradually. So the sugar enters your system gradually. It stages over time. It doesn't just go straight into your system. Okay? But because but these processed sugars, because they are so concentrated and direct, immediately you are taking them, maybe you are taking Coke, immediately you are taking them, it's going direct to your, it's easily absorbed, straight. So you have increased load immediately in your system, which is not good. So Just like I've discussed, the absorption for the natural sugar is slow with fiber and protein, while for the processed sugar, it's rapid in absorption, which will cause what glucose spike in your blood. Then we have the satiety effect of the natural to the processed sugar. The satiety effect, what do I mean by that? Satiety effect means you easily get satisfied when you eat food with what? The natural sugar than the processed sugar. If you eat food with starch or vegetable or fruits, you get satisfied than just consuming all these beverages. You take Coke now. I give you maybe like 10, 15 or 30 minutes. You will be hungry to take something else. And the sugar the sugar content you got from that Coke is more than what you got from the natural listing, the natural sugar from starch. So you see, you taking a natural source of sugar, such as starch, it makes you satisfied, and also the sugar content gradually enters your system, and it's also not more than the processed sugar. But for the processed sugar, it enters your system immediately, and it's usually more than the starchy content. So the health impact of the natural sugar, it's generally beneficial when taken, while for the processed sugar is linked to what? The non-communicable diseases such as obesity, diabetes, and cerebrovascular disease. Okay, so WHO gave us, which is the World Health Organization, gave us guidelines for adults and children they gave us a guideline for daily consumption of this sugar, okay? And the guideline states that what? The intake of this free sugar should be less than 10% of what? The total energy intake we take. For an adult, we take 2,900 kilocalories per day. Okay? So if we are taking 10% of this sugar that is recommended, at least we should take at least 290 kilocalories per day. They further stated that if you can reduce it to 5% myself, it's even better, which will be roughly what, 25 grams or 6 teaspoons of sugar per day. Less than 5% is beneficial. They said that keeping the intake of these free sugars to less than 10% of the total energy intake reduces the risk of what? Overweight, obesity, and what? Tooth decay. So this is just a diagram showing some of these sugar sweetening beverages that we consume, okay? So as you can see, we have that Monster energy drink, okay? Just consuming one alone will give you up to what? 200 calories. And that's about 13.5 what? Teaspoons of sugar. You can see the pyramid of sugar there. So just consuming the Monster energy drink. And when you take this, you will still get hungry eventually. So even when you go and consume your, whether it's rice, yam, you are adding more sugar to your system. And eat your normal food later than to take all this energy drink. And let me tell you something about this energy drink that they don't tell you about. This energy drink were made for athletes, not for individuals like you. It's what athletes take. Maybe athletes on the track after they've run maybe like 100-meter race or something, because they need that replenishment immediately. But it's not for individuals like you that just woke up from sleep and you carry it and take it. Okay? So also we have the vitamin water, which just that's around 125 calories. Then we have Mountain Dew. The Mountain Dew contains what? 290 calories, about 19.25 teaspoons of sugar. That's the Mountain Dew that you take. Okay? So that's just a summary of these sugar sweetening beverages and their total sugar content. So we really need to be careful with how we consume this. Okay? It's better you make fruit juice, even if it's to blend the watermelon in your house or pineapple, any fruits. So it's better you make fruit juice and keep them in your fridge and take it over time than to be taking this sugar sweetening beverage. Okay. Okay. So this is just a flow chart that I did to try and explain the impact of this sugar sweetening beverage on our health. Okay. So if you look at the first rectangle up there, it shows what? Sugar sweetening beverage consumption, right? After consuming that sugar sweetening beverage, there is what? The arrow pointing down. It will lead to what? Rapid absorption of what? The free sugars. Okay? Now, after somebody consumes this sugar sweetening beverage, it leads to what? The rapid what? Consumption of this. So when it leads to this rapid consumption, God has made our body in a way that there are things put in place to what? To try and control this rapid increase, right? So there is usually a substance in the body known as what? Insulin. There is usually a substance in the body known as insulin. What? This insulin, what does it do? Is to what? Remove that excess sugar from your blood and store it what? In your muscles. Okay? In your muscles. But even with that, there is a limit to it. So if you take too much sugar and the insulin has controlled what it can, the excess now, your body has to do something with the excess. So what will it do with the excess? It will convert that excess sugar to fat. It will convert that excess sugar to fat now. And when it converts that excess sugar to fat, where does it store it? It stores it in the what? Area of the abdomen, that's your tummy, the buccal area, your buttocks. It stores it in your hip, where the fatty tissues are. So it actually stores them. But that's not all. It also stores them in your blood vessels. So your blood vessels is like this, right? So it also stores this fat in your blood vessels. And these blood vessels are not supposed to be, fats are not supposed to be stored in the blood vessels. Why? Because let's say the blood is pumping in your blood vessels, and your blood vessels, there is, just imagine your blood vessel is a pipe. There is water flow going through. You understand? But when just imagine maybe dirt now starts accumulating around the pipe, what will happen? The water will not flow properly, true of course. And it will increase what? The pressure in that pipe. So now that increase in pressure is what sometimes leads to what? Some of these vascular diseases, such as what? Hypertension. Because your heart now has to pump the blood. Your heart now has to pump the blood what? It has to pump stronger to what? To offset that blockage. So it will cause what? Increase in the blood pressure. Are you following? It will cause increase in the blood pressure, okay? Which can lead to what? Which can lead to what? Heart failure. Also now if you go to the brain, because we have these blood vessels all around our body, okay? So if you go to the brain now, your brain needs the blood. Because what? It gets the what? Oxygen and what? The glucose, right? For your brain to function. So if there are blockages, that's what leads to what? Stroke. By the time a vessel gets clogged, a vessel that is supplying the brain gets clogged, and that part of the brain is affected. That's why you see people sometimes, all of a sudden, they develop stroke, one part of their body is not working. Then after some time, it regains its movement. Why? Because your body has a lot of what? Tributaries. We call them tributaries. Different blood vessels linking to each other. Okay? So if one is blocked, another one will compensate, but with time. So eventually, if you don't stop that habit, the stroke can be permanent. That's why you see some people don't recover. Once they have that limb weakness, they don't recover from that. Okay? So this is, so you can see, I don't know, if you follow now, you can see how the sugar sweetening beverage also leads to this. Because that excess sugar, once the insulin has taken the amount it can take to store in your muscle, the rest, your body will convert the rest to fat, which will be stored in the what? Your abdomen, the gluteal area, and some part of your body, okay? And also your blood vessels. And the ones that are stored in the abdomen and the buccal area, or some parts of your body, like this hump here at the back. By the time your body keeps storing this fat, what it leads to what? Obesity. And obesity also has what? Health concerns. Obesity also leads to what? Diabetes too. Obesity also leads to what? Heart failure. Obesity also leads to what? Increased infection. Because the less healthy you are, someone that is healthy, his body fights infection better than someone that is obese. Okay? So that's why if you look at the arrow there, obesity also leads to what? Insulin resistance, which will lead to what? Diabetes, and also it can lead to what? Hypertension. Okay? So now, this hypertension and diabetes too, eventually, someone that is having hypertension, that's why when someone that is having hypertension comes to us to see us in the hospital, we usually counsel them on the diet. Okay? We counsel them on the diet. We counsel them to what? Do exercise. Why? So that they can burn this excess fat or sugar. Okay? Then we also counsel them, even diabetes too, we also counsel them. Because once you have diabetes, it means that insulin in your system, it's not functioning properly. There's resistance. Why do you think this happens? I told you from the beginning, when you are consuming a lot of sugar, this insulin is working over time to try and reduce the sugar in your blood, in your system. Okay? So if it's something you do for years, eventually there will be resistance to that insulin. I told you the insulin stores the glucose in your muscles, right? There are receptors in that muscle that the insulin responds to, that the muscle responds to, so that the glucose will be stored. Eventually there will be resistance, and that insulin will not respond. I mean, the muscle will not respond to the insulin. That's what we call insulin resistance, which will lead to a type of diabetes known as what? Type 2 diabetes. And when you have that diabetes now, meaning there is insulin resistance, now you cannot take those sugar sweetening beverages that you were enjoying before because you were taking it too much. Now when you come and meet us in the hospital, we will advise you to stop taking that. We advise you to stop taking it. So now we will now counsel you on the diet. We counsel you on starchy products. Even the starchy products, the yam, because they contain sugar, we'll still tell you to take it in moderation. In the sense, if you are taking, for instance, let's say you are taking rice, we'll tell you a small portion of it should be rice, then the other portion, more than half, should be what? Vegetable. Yes. So that's what happens to diabetes patients. Because if the sugar is not controlled, it also affects the body. You see, hypertension and diabetes, they are chronic diseases that can affect any part of the body. Whether it's the brain, which will lead to stroke, or the eyes. Yes, it affects the eyes too. It can lead to blindness. It affects the kidney. It affects the kidney. Okay? It affects the blood vessels. It affects the nerve. That's why you see some people with diabetes. Because the blood vessels is blocked, it leads to what? Decay of their foot. That we have to cut off their foot. it affects wound healing too. So a person with diabetics, the wound doesn't heal properly if the sugar is high. So you see, there are a lot of health-related effects to these concentrated sugar beverages that we are taking. That we have to take in moderation and control it. Okay? So that's just the explanation. So this is still the same thing, like I said. It relates to what disease such as obesity, hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular disease such as stroke, heart attack, even dental caries too. If you take too much sugar, your teeth decays. Your teeth decays fast. Yes. Even if you brush 2 to 3 times a day, if you take too much sugar, your teeth you're at high risk of having what? Dental caries. Okay? Even cancer too. Yes. There are different studies that link cancer to this non-communicable disease. Okay? So this is just a relationship between these beverages with non-communicable disease. I just brought some studies so that it's not as if I am saying it out of my head. Okay? So a meta-analysis done in the UK. This meta-analysis is a type of research done by, they bring different research together and they come to a conclusion, okay? So the study found that a daily serving of what? These sugars, sweetening beverages, increases the risk of what? Hypertension by 8%. And coronary heart disease by what? It also increases the risk of coronary heart disease by 17%. Just a daily serving of these beverages. So there is that increased risk by 8% for hypertension and coronary heart disease, 17%. This is a study in the UK, right? Now coming to Nigeria now. A study done in Abeokuta among tertiary students showed the high prevalence of sugar sweetening beverage consumption was linked to what? Elevated risk of what? Type 2 diabetes. Okay? So these are studies now. You know, scientists that we are, we don't just bring statements just like that. There are studies, multiple studies done that has led to this conclusion. Okay? So another study done among pregnant women in Ibadan linked these same beverages to what? Increased gestational weight gain. What's gestational weight gain? Meaning when a lady gets pregnant. That's why you see some ladies, when they get pregnant, you see they blow, you will not be able to recognize them. Some of them is because of this consumption of these sugar sweetening beverages that leads to that increased rapid weight gain when they are pregnant. Okay? And also, it can cause hyperglycemia in pregnancy. You know, we usually tell people that pregnancy, that's why we take maternal health seriously, because pregnancy, when a woman is pregnant, she's between life and death, believe it or not. And that's why we usually tell them to come for what? Antenatal visit, at least 8 times within their pregnancy, so that we monitor them properly. You understand? So, having diabetes or hypertension while pregnant, it increases your risk. It's life-threatening both for the mother and the fetus. So those people now they are now required to be monitored more than a pregnant woman that doesn't have this. So instead of us now telling them to come maybe after 1 month or 2 months, we tell them to come maybe after 2 weeks, because we need to make sure there is optimum control. Because high blood sugar, it affects the baby, and it also affects the mother. Hypertension too affects the baby, also affects the mother. This can lead to they are high risk of maternal death because of these diseases. Yes. So they have to be controlled. Okay? So now, I just want to talk about the socio-economic impact of this non-communicable disease related to what? That are related to these sugars within beverages. You know, health, that's why you see public health. We don't just deal with the clinical aspects. We also deal with the social and economic aspects of life. Yes. Because why? That social and economic aspect of life can affect somebody's health. Yes. Poverty can lead to stress. Stress can lead to hypertension. If you are stressed out every day, it's not a healthy lifestyle. Okay? And also, these diseases, even as they affect you, your socio-economic lifestyle, it also affects the country in general. In the sense that now, there is what? Number one, we have decreased productivity. Someone that is battling these diseases, maybe heart attack, stroke. If someone has stroke now, do you think he can go to work immediately? So there is that decreased productivity, which in turn affects the economy, because by the time you look at the whole population that have this, you'll be surprised how much the economy is losing from these people being sick. Yes, because these are working class individuals. Okay? So there is decreased productivity. Okay? Then number two, we have increased health expenditure. As an individual, you see, these diseases is bad, and there's something people don't know. Great public awareness about this. Okay? Once you have this chronic illness, it's with you for life. It's with you for life. If you have hypertension, it's with you for life. There's no cure. It's just to control it. Diabetes is with you for life. There's no cure. That will be cured in the future, but for now there's no cure. So why am I saying this? You keep taking drugs to control whether it's the blood pressure or the hypertension or whatever chronic illness you have, whether it's heart attack. You keep taking drugs. And all these drugs are what? Costly. You are spending your money. So imagine each month you are buying all these drugs. And you know how the market is, everything is increasing. So what? You spend your money on what? Health expenditure, which can take someone to poverty. Yes, I've seen people that we have to even contribute money for them to buy their drugs. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Some people don't even come for follow-up because they know we will write the medication for them to buy, and they can't afford it. It's when they can afford it, they come for follow-up. So it's that bad. And if you don't take this medication, you can't control these diseases. And if you don't control hypertension or diabetes, it leads to so many problems in your body. It can affect your brain, the heart, the kidney, the eyes, your legs. Yes. Okay? So there is increased health expenditure. Then impoverishment. Still the same thing. Because of these diseases, somebody that is managing himself becomes more impoverished because he has to buy these drugs to take care of himself. Okay? Then there is loss of GDP. There's loss of GDP. This involves the nation as a whole. You are not just buying drugs. Some of these drugs are subsidized by the government so that you can afford it. Fine, they might not tell you, but some of these drugs are subsidized. So the country is spending money on some of these drugs or these treatments. What? It leads to what? Loss of what? This GDP, this gross domestic profit of the country. It reduces it. So there's usually loss from treatment. Okay? And sometimes, instead of the country to focus on other things like maybe vaccines and the rest, because the vaccines too also cost money. Vaccines for child health or maternal health, they spend maybe to subsidize some of this medication for this what chronic illness that can be prevented with what healthy lifestyle and what healthy lifestyle, eating proper diet and what exercise. And you see, it's unfortunate now that the world we are moving to a more sedentary lifestyle, in the sense that now once somebody starts working, he has a car. He enters his car, he goes to his office, he sits down. After he closes from work, he enters his car again, drives to his house, he sits down. So there's no active lifestyle to burn some of this energy. Increase of the sugar content, which will be converted to fats, which can have detrimental effect in your body. Okay? There's also a strain on the healthcare system. There's a strain on the healthcare. So there's a strain on the healthcare system. Instead of the healthcare focus on other things, like mental health, maternal health, or child health, they are focusing on what? These non-communicable diseases that can be easily prevented through lifestyle changes. Okay? Now the social impact. We have psychosocial burden. It's not easy. If you see people living with this disease, it's not easy. There's that burden on them. So it can affect them mentally, the stress, okay? Then we have financial hardship on the family too. Your families are contributing money to take care of it. It's also causing hardship to them. Then we have unequal distribution of burden. What this trying to say is, in the sense, someone from low income, you can't compare someone that is in the low income bracket to someone that is in the high income bracket. That unequal distribution of burden. The drug is the same price for two of them. They are not going to consider this one doesn't have the money. That's why. No. So there is that unequal distribution. Okay? So I will not take too much of your time. These are steps that are taken to mitigate the consumption of these beverages. Somebody is going to discuss on one of them is the implementation of this SSB tax, which was introduced in 2021. Okay. Then we have another one is advocacy of for increase of this tax. Yes. Some associations are actually advocating for this tax to be more expensive so that you will not be able to buy it. This SSB tax that was introduced is still not enough. The WHO standard is 20%. 20%. So it's not actually up to 20%. That's 10 naira per liter tax that was put in place. Okay? Then we have public awareness, the public on the health hazards of SSB consumption. Okay? Then we have regulatory measures like some organizations are advocating for packages, frontal labels to be put on this thing. To just like the way if you carry cigarettes, you see some labels that smokers are liable to die of. Yes, some people are advocating to put that on these beverages that you are taking, so that people actually know the health risk related to it. So these are my recommendations, since I don't have time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, you can do much better. I say you can do better than that, please. All right, thank you very much, Doctor. That's a very wonderful one. I think why my body is already shaking. Hello? While he was giving the lecture, my body is shaking already. Because I know most of the things he mentions are things that many of us are enjoying ourselves every day. So I think it's high time we start reducing some of the things we bring, some of the food, and then also ask for God to help us. From the beginning of his lectures, I noticed something that he said that Nigeria is the number 4 in the whole world, the consumption of sugar. I don't know if somebody here when he say that. They said Nigeria is the number 4. Now we be number 4, the whole world. I pray we come number 4 for economic boost. Say amen now. Say amen. The first presenter was here giving us the lecture. A great head of department just walked in. The person of Dr. Dahiru Umar, please, can you help us celebrate great grace? Thank you very much. So you're welcome back. We're happy to. Ladies, can you put your hands together for him as he's coming, please?
Thank you very much. Members of the high table, particularly our elder, the general, our guest presenter, the coordinator and the anchor of this program, Professor Ahmadu. And our students here present, good afternoon to you all. Actually, the department is proud and is happy to host this kind of highly educative, highly informative engagements. Actually, the topic in fact, is I don't know, but it's in fact it's timely, it's critical, because if you look at our lifestyles, look at what we are doing to ourselves. We are not eating in a kind of a, let me say, healthy way. We are disrupting our very foundation or basis of health right from the onset. We heard from health experts that now the bar is being lowered, that someone who is as young as 35 years can be prone to very deadly and terrible, let me say, life-threatening diseases like hypertension, diabetes, heart problems, cardiovascular diseases, among others. And what are the root causes of this? As we heard from experts, it's simply from what we consume. We are not eating what we are supposed to eat. We are eating, this fast food, these beverages that mean nothing. Particularly you, the young ones. Like some of us now that are becoming of age, we are now becoming more aware. So if you give me soft drinks, I don't really like it. If you give me these noodles, all this kind of very, processed kind of food, I don't need it. Simply because I have begun to understand that they will create more problem than than I might even assume. So please, this lecture is very critical. Even after this engagement, I would urge all of you to go over particularly this medical aspect of it, because I realize that the lecture is two-sided. One is medical and the other one is, if you like, legal or economic. So I would really urge all of you to go over particularly the medical aspect of it, so that you have more awareness, so that you begin to take charge of your health. This is what is actually attacking our longevity. Our longevity is so shortened simply because we have already cut it so low right from this particular ages. So if you want to live longer, healthier, and productive life, you would have to eat something that would be like a medicine to you, not to eat something that's just sweet, and of course would end up compounding problem or creating problems in your system. So with this, I have other engagements, but at least with this, a short note from me, I think I will leave you at this and call on you to pay attention and of course try to listen to the remaining presenters and try and make good use of the entire lectures and speeches that you would receive during this afternoon's engagement. And more particularly, I learned from the coordinator that you would have to take this seriously because it will form part of your CAO exams. You know, you students who don't want to take anything seriously unless it is going to border on your CS and exams. So please do take it so seriously. It will help you, help your relatives, help your friends, and of course, help you to pass exams. Once again, good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Just like the history has said, the Prof has already intimated us to inform all the students who are offering this course that every of the lectures that is going on here, make sure you take note of it. Because from there, go to answer, agree, or seriously or strongly agree. So thank you very much. I would like to bring up the next presenter, but it's no any other person but Mohammed Hamza from Faculty of Law, Mobilization, Zaria. Please celebrate. Come in, please.
Good day, distinguished members of the high table and gentlemen and ladies. I like the fact that I'm seeing some people with the face cap. So those with the face cap, please be ready to answer questions. It's an interactive session.
Nobody should remove his cap. Nobody should remove the cap. Nobody cannot cap. I'm not there by face.
So please be ready to answer questions. Okay, please forward. Hello. So before they set up the projector, those that are very close to me, they will tell you I don't take. Hello. Please attention. Thank you. Those very close to me will tell you that I don't take sodas. I don't take Coke, Fantas, all those things. And yet, when they ask me why I don't know, I just don't take them. So thank God that now I have one of the reasons to justify why I don't take them. So, firstly, the first question I have is to the audience, not to the high table. When I said everybody on face cap, I didn't mean the high table. Everyone on face cap is here. You're wearing a face cap with SSB tags, right? And it said save lives. So it means I have more than an obligation now to rely on the information you are giving me. So please, I have two questions before I start. And anybody, before I start volunteer, I need at least 3 volunteers. Anybody, or appoint. Save your friends, save your boyfriends, save your girlfriends. Raise your hands. Just 3 people, random people. 3 people, just 3. It doesn't matter if you are wearing face cap, just 3 people. Raise your hands. Please, who have another mic? Aside this one. Okay, please.
The mic is there.
So, I don't know. Let me see. Please, the guy on Jalabia with the cap, close to the one with black shade. Yes, sir. So please, they will give you the mic. So the first question is, what do you understand by SBB? SSB, sorry. What do you understand by SSB?
What I understand about SSB, sugar sweetened beverages, is to enlighten the people, those taking notice of their own life, and then public, there's people that don't know to take sugar. So that this program can tell the people in the academic section when they are public place, so that like people stay. Because Nigeria, what people say, Nigeria is the fourth country that consuming sugar too in the world.
So thank you. Please, the lady behind, close to the two guys, in between the two guys. The lady on pink veil. What do you understand by the term SSB? Is that all? Okay, please take a break. So, let's see. Mr. President, when I say president, I'm talking to one person. So please, my question is different for you. What do you understand by the other term of the cap? Tax. To tax something, what does it mean? Tax. That tax, what does it mean? Yeah, thank you. I like one thing about students is we are learning. So whatever you say is not going to be against you. We are still learning. I'll still ask the same people the same question. So I'll expect to hear their feedback. So I was going through the slide and I noticed that the topic of our presentation is the application of sugar sweetened beverages, SSBS, and SSB task on health development in Nigeria. However, I noticed the first presenter, Dr. Hassan, has done justice to the health part, the medical aspect of the discussion. So wherever, if not maybe it's important or it's relevant I discuss, I will skip certain areas he has already discussed. So when we're talking about taxation, to tax something, what you're simply saying is that it's an amount paid to the government, right? So that they'll be able to carry on the activity, their legacy, the services they offered, the school they run, the road they prepare, everything they do. So they do it from the tax you pay. So now that tax you pay is the amount for that purpose. So whenever you are being asked to pay tax, it means you are being asked to contribute to the development of the country, the states, or where the local government you live. So this is basically what tax is. Then when you're talking about the sugar sweetened beverages, you are talking about, as the doctor had said earlier, any thing you consume, whether sodas, whether zobo, whether whatever it is, as far as they add sugar to it, artificial sugar to make it sweet is a sugar sweetened beverage. This is, you just understand this basics. So whatever definition you want to grab, you can grab them later, but for the basics, these are the basics you should understand about this. Then for our discussion on the implication of sweetened beverages, we are focusing on the legal aspect. That is why when I saw people on SSB tax, I was like, oh, thank God, they make my work easy, and I'll just be asking them the question of answering. So initially, this paper was supposed to be presented by our assistant dean, who is unavoidably absent because due to health reasons. So he sent me. So I took my time to go through and I was like, I love this. Let me come and discuss with my fellow students. Let's have fun. So now the first thing you should understand is, we came up with an example. So as I was saying, we came up with an executive summary in a form of introduction and at the same time giving you insight into the entire presentation. So the first thing, as the doctor had said earlier, there's rapid increase in non-communicable diseases. And he explained what non-communicable diseases are. So he also attests that there is rapid increase in the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages in Nigeria. So I don't have to go back to that. So he also established that SSB drive many diseases such as obesity, diabetes, dental, and what's it called, issues, and many others, which he has explained. Also, he implied, he touched that there is a need for taxing, yes, for us to tax these people. That way we'll be able. So now this is where I come in. As I said, somebody will come and discuss it. Now I'm here to tell you about this area. Then the next thing is that this presentation discusses how the government over the years has intervened in ensuring that the health of the people is safe. So the next thing is, in the presentation it was concluded that there's a need to strengthen the existing tax system to discourage people from consuming these SSBs. Then we came up with certain recommendations, which you will hear in the course of the presentation. So for this purpose, I will skip what is the meaning of SSBs, because we discussed it here earlier. I will also skip the nutrition aspects, because he has discussed it earlier. I will skip the head arms of the SSBs, because he has discussed it. But then I'll start from here, the legal framework. So now when we are discussing legal framework, we are just simply talking about what law regulates the taxing of SSBs in Nigeria. What are the laws? How the government regulates this SSBs consumption? How the government regulates it generally? This is what this legal framework is about. So now for those who are good with their law, the Constitution, I'm a law student who don't believe that I'm a law student. So you tell me what you understand by the law, I tell you what I think I understand by the law. So that way we teach ourselves. So section 17 sub 3 paragraph D of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, imposed a duty on the government to take every step necessary in ensuring that the citizens of Nigeria live in good health conditions, which include providing health services and also preventing anything that is likely to harm them. This is section 17 sub 3 paragraph D of the Constitution. Then we also have the same Constitution, the second schedule of the exclusive legislative list. When you have the Constitution, just go to the last part after section 1, section 2. Just move there, you see schedules, first schedule, second schedule. So the second schedule of that part of that Constitution, by part 1, it confers on the executive the power to make laws regulating taxation, taxing people, taxing, the need for you to, the government to tax you. So these taxes include taxing imported and exported items. So there you see we discussed to impose excise duty. Excise duties means anything that deals with immigration. Customs, because they are the one that deals with the excise things. Then by 2021, Doctor mentioned earlier that we have a law in 2021 that regulates taxation. Yes. We have the Finance Act. It's called Finance Act of 2021. It introduced 10% taxation on SSB products. Not 10%, sorry, 10 naira per liter. There's emphasis on per liter. So if I'm selling beverages per liter, or each liter of that beverage, if it's 1 liter, I will pay 10 naira for it. So now the law did not focus on the price, but no, the law focused on the liter of that product. So this is one thing I want you to draw your attention to. This particular law that provides for taxing SSBs only provides that you tax those items based on the liter, 10 naira per liter. So this is what the law has provided. So now this is the legal framework. I want you to put this at the back of your mind because I said I will ask questions, and I meant when I said I will ask questions. So the next aspect is the regulatory framework. The regulatory framework, when you have a law in place, there are certain organs that are established or structure or institutions that are put in place to ensure that those laws are well implemented. So this particular institution, bodies, organs, or whatsoever they are called, in whatsoever name they are called, are referred to in law as the regulator. So whenever you are discussing them, we call them the regulatory framework. So now in this regulatory framework, the Finance Act 2021 imposed duty on certain people or certain body. So through certain, through the same law. That is the custom, the same custom, the immigration, because they are the ones overseeing what comes in from the border and what goes out. The EFCC, the NAFDAC, they are the ones that monitor the SON, Standard Organization in Nigeria. They are the ones that monitor what is produced within Nigeria and outside Nigeria, all of them put together. So they are going to forward the record of, okay, this is how it works and all that. Then the people that tax you now is the FIRS. So based on the information those people gather and the report they give you as a company, so I expected that whenever the FIRS come, you file, what's it called? Your profit, your loss and everything. From there they will know how to tax you. That is basically the structure. So now this Finance Act put that measure in place. Then we now have the Custom and Excise Tariff Act. This one provides for tariff on product that is being imported into Nigeria. Then you also have the Customs and Excise Management Act. Provide for how the customs manage products they got as a result of maybe smuggling or so. So all these are related to this conversation. The excise duty regulation was made in 2022 by the then Comptroller General, they call them CG, of the custom. So it's a regulation, executive make regulations, for those of us who know. So enforcement by the Nigerian Customs Service and Federal Inland Revenue, I said it earlier, I've explained this. So then, why tax SSB? Why do you have to tax it? Why? You know, when all of you are wearing the cap, SSB tax, why? So this is basically the question you should be asking yourself. I'm not a fan of let all of us go and dance. Why should I dance? So this is the question we should be asking ourselves before we go into everything or anything. The first thing is, the doctor said it, that to discourage people, doctors are right, from consuming those substances, you need to increase the taxing so that the company will increase the price. So now if the company increases the price, that way the people will be discouraged from consuming it. Problem solved. So now this is the first aspect. So it will reduce the demand if the price is higher. Then the second one is, it will also signal behavioral change for the scientists and psychologists. We talk about the psychosocial impact of this. And this is related to that psychosocial impact of the conversation that he mentioned. That's why I said you need to pay attention. When the HOD said that, you should pay attention to what he said. I also intend to say that, but now I'm saying it. In case you did not pay attention, please look for those that paid attention so that you will connect whatever I'm saying now with what he had presented. So, signal behavioral change and healthier choices. So people knowing that the price is high, I don't go buy. I remember there's some of us that used to say we are addicted to Indomie. But when the price of Indomie increased that year to 200 naira, I remember also they stopped taking it. I don't take noodles too. I don't take anything noodles. It's not my thing. So when the price went up, most people were discouraged. They stopped buying noodles. They were looking for options of where to get. So this is part of it. So now it encouraged the formulation of drinks with less sugar. So now you fully well that, see, if your product have much sugar, the government will tax you more. So instead of selling those things, you now focus on selling things like bottled water and the rest. For example, he showed you, there was a presentation slide where he presented the drinks like Mountain Dew, Monster, and the rate of the sugar in them. I saw it. So that is an example. When the higher your sugar rate, the higher the tax you should pay. That way it will discourage people, it will make companies to go back now and reformulate their production as it is in the United Kingdom at the moment. My uncle once told me that the Coke they take there in the United Kingdom is totally different from the Coke they consume here in Nigeria. And when I was like, how? So one day he was coming, he bought a Coke. I don't take sodas, so he knows. So he just want me to agree that they are different. So he bought a Coke and put it in his bag just to come and prove to himself. Then when he arrived at the airport, he bought another Coke, so he brought it too. And you're like, okay, Hamza, this is the Coke from the United Kingdom. This is the one from Nigeria. Just test them. I'm like, no, I don't take it. He said, okay, dilute them with sugar and with water. So that way, I said, no, I don't take it. So either way, we end up to prove his point. We tested everything, and it happens exactly as I said. I realized that the sugar level of the one we consume here in Nigeria is totally, it's like we're taking poison. Because anything that does not help your body system, it kills it. And I think that is why your second catchphrase, save life, that is where it comes in. So let's continue. So and the last part of it, I say it will generate revenue for health and social programs. So now, since you are taxing people that produce those things in high quality, so now that money you are generating from them, you focus it, the government, that's the government, and you not focus that money back on, providing local health service and the rest. Are we together? So far, have I lost anyone? Are we together? Like, is anyone left behind? Because I remember when I was leaving the bus stop, I took 3 people. So I don't know if the rest came along or tagged along. Are we together? Please, I want to be sure. I'm hearing just 4 people saying yes. Are we together? Yes. Thank you. So now, to proceed, what we do was, I decided to go into, when my mentor told me yesterday that I will present him today, I quickly told him that I noticed the slide was not complete without this. There's no way you talk about something of this nature without going into comparative analysis. I feel it is important. So for him, he thought it was not relevant. But since I was going to present, he had to agree and insert it. So now this is how it works. When you go to the United States, specifically the country, the states in the United States are there. States like Berkeley, Philadelphia, what's it called, San Francisco, and Oakland. You notice that they impose 33% tax on those items. So it means if the higher the sugar level, the higher the tax you pay. 33%. For example, if you are selling it 150, 33% of that 150 naira is going to the government. It's not their business whether you are having loss or profit. So now you see, since you are paying that tax level, you have to be ready to produce less. Or now, when you increase the money too much, hello, when you are paying much to acquire those substances, those drinks, you sacrifice not buying them. Then another thing is, I also talk about the United Kingdom, which is UK. In 2018, they introduced what they call the tier. So that tier, what they simply did was, soft drinks industry. I know we love item 7 as students, but please don't let item 7 take away item number 1, which is why we are here. Thank you. So I said, in the United Kingdom in 2018, they introduced what they call the tier. The tier is simply called the soft drinks industry label. You can go online, you can search on it, you'll see more about it. So what they simply did was, they imposed more tax. For example, if you are producing things, the higher your sugar level, the higher your tax. Here, there's no percentage. For example, you are producing, it costs you, for example, it costs you 500 naira to produce and you tend to sell 600 naira. And you are paying the tax worth 400 naira. You'll be forced to sell that commodity around 1,001 or so. That way, when the price is high, the people will not buy. So now, the best way you can do it is to go back now and review your sugar level. The lower your sugar level, the lower the tax you pay. Very simple. So for that reason, most industries in the United Kingdom, including Coca-Cola, reduce their sugar level. The level of sugar they concentrate in their SSBs was very low. It's still low in the United Kingdom. Then another country we mentioned is to follow the World Health Organization standard that provide that if you are producing SSBs, you should be imposed 20% tax of what you are producing. So Australia has agreed with that, and as you can see from the presentation, the slide there, they project to have 609 million Australian dollars in health costs and generate 400 Australian dollar, $1 million annually. So with this, why they are using it as a preventive measure for the health, they are also benefiting from the economic aspect. So you see, it's one, economic revenue generation, but revenue generation use one stone to kill two birds the same, and that's what Australia is doing. Then the next country, which is the last one, is the Mexico. So now what Mexico did was in 2014 they introduced a 1 peso per liter SSB tax, which is approximately 10% price. Although it's not up to the World Health Standard, but trust me, it's far, far higher than the price Nigeria is taxing. Far, far. I think if we should go by the 10 naira per liter Nigeria is taxing, you realize that Nigeria is not taxing up to, let's say, 3%. If you go by World Health Standard. So now, as a result of that, they've promised to generate revenue at the same time, reduce the rate at which SSBs are being consumed by different households. Then the simple lesson is that the slightest tax you impose discourage either the production or the consumption of this product. Then let's come back to our beloved Nigeria. In Nigeria, our excise duty applied to some non-alcoholic beverages, not all, some selected. Only those that are flagged by the custom or by the NAFTA or by the Standard Organization of Nigeria. It's only the one that they impose tax on. Anyone that is not flagged, they allow it to operate. For example, the Zobo you sell, you are not being taxed for your Zobo. Are you? Because they are not even aware that perhaps you exist. Another key issue we identify is that coverage. When I say coverage, I said they don't even know some people run those businesses. So until they realize that, until they are able to put in place some measures to be able to detect those that run business that deals with SSBs, I think we'll still continue going that way. So the last one here is that in Nigeria there's a margin of revenue, but it's not clear how much Nigeria are making from tax imposed on SSBs. We don't know, because they don't want to declare it. We don't know what it is. So now, expected impact on SSB tax. Now, what are the impacts we are expecting? Hello. So if Nigeria should tax SSB, what impact will we benefit for that? The first one is that it will lower consumption of sugary drinks. The second one is that it will improve public health outcomes. The rate of obesity we have, the rate of diabetes, the rate of sugar-related heart attack, right? High blood pressure, all those problems would be at its minimal level. It would be reduced. Then also, it will also be of greater benefit to low-income and youth, low-income earners and youth. We that are just growing, we have much energy, so we should live healthy. Please, I'm begging. Don't do anything that will make your belly grow unnecessarily. Sometimes people tell you it's wealth, but when you are not rich, you are broke. We are managing 500 naira per day and you are having both belly. Who are you listening? So please, take note of this. So the next one is, it will also encourage industrial shifts. For example, I spoke about the United Kingdom, that when they imposed those taxes, the industry changed from producing things with more sugar to lower sugar levels. So that will help. Then it will also help the country or the state to generate money for prevention and health care. So now, instead of just focusing on prevention, when you are imposing the tax on those companies, that money you are generating from there, will be helping you to sustain the people that are not consuming those things. It means the higher people that consume, the higher revenue the country will generate. Right? So the lesser people that consume, the lesser revenue. So that way the health sector will be safe. We don't have to be worried about who is struggling with diabetes or the rest. Don't remember, diabetes does not have a cure to date. They are still working, scientists are still working to find a permanent cure to it. Then the last one, increased revenue generation for the government. So now the public health risk, doctors said that mentioned some of them, most of them earlier. But he perhaps, for the purpose of emphasis, when we impose tax on these people, this company, these SSBs, what we get is that one, it serves as a preventive policy, preventive health policy. Since you have lower people consuming it, you have lower people to worry about, right? So then the next thing is it reduces sugar intake. As the doctor said, Nigeria is rated number 4 among the countries in the world that consume sugar. Wow. Oh, we are rated. So we like sweet things. But please, sweet things kills faster. It kills faster. Anything that is sweet kills faster. So stay safe. The last one is, the third one, sorry, it aligns with World Health Organization standard, which is what they call it Internet Global Standard. So when you tax those people, especially you impose that 20% by World Health Organization, that's when you are maintaining global standard on health at the same time, preventive measures. Why the last one? It supports Nigeria's non-communicable disease prevention strategy. When I say NCD, I mean the non-communicable disease prevention strategy. Then what are the legal justifications? What is the legal basis? Why do we think what we are fighting for is correct? I said it earlier. Section 17 sub 3 paragraph D of the Constitution gives impose on the government to take a reasonable step, necessary step, to ensure that all of us. So the next thing is I also talk about the second schedule of the Constitution that imposes on a duty on the federal government to regulate SSBs and consumption, excise duty through taxing, right? To tax those things. So it's their duty now. We are calling on the government to perform their duty. We are not asking for much. We cannot go to court to ask them to do those things. But yet we can ask them through advocacy and the rest. So what most of us here are doing that we don't know, I know some of us are doing it for the marks. Nothing for the mark, but the mark. But trust me, what we're doing now is advocacy in a lighter form. When you campaign, when you spread awareness, you're advocating for something. So it's not only lawyers that advocate. Everybody, people advocate in different ways. Take note of that. So, and I said it supports another legal justification is I mentioned earlier that the NAFTA, the Federal Inland Revenue, the Customs, and many other organizations or government agencies, they are government agencies, governmental agencies, are saddled with responsibility. They have that duty, that responsibility to ensure that certain products that are being produced are of standard. That is the primary function of the NAFTA. What's it called? National Agency for Food and Drugs. So you see, it comes with it. It's not just food, drugs. It's not just drugs, food. So whatever you eat is food, right? So NAFTA have that responsibility to regulate, to ensure that whatever you eat is of benefit to your health. And that's why when doctors see some people advocating that the same way it is written on cigarette pack that smokers are liable to die in, it should be written on your Coke bottle that consumption of SSBs or consumers of SSB are liable, if not die young, die early, something of that nature, than their stipulated dates. And the last one, the legal justification, I said it aligns with fiscal policy. It aligns fiscal policy, with public health goals. The government have funding. I'm sure you are all administration students here. I wanted to say and, but I'm going to change that all of us. So we are administration students. We are students of faculty of administration. So we know what fiscal policy is. Do we? Please, if you don't know, say you don't know. There's no regret to say I don't know. You will know it today if you don't. Don't be shy to say I don't know. When I don't know, I ask people. Please take note. When you don't know, do well to ask. So now, the next thing, after the legal justification, but before I go to that place, when you talk about fiscal policy, you are talking about now the executives, the administrators. They are the ones that do that. That's their function. Why the lawmakers, the legislators, right, they make law. The judiciary interpret. The executive formulate and implement policies. Right? So this policy, it depends on the nature. There are different forms of policy, and one of those policies is fiscal, which focus more on the economy. So now, it aligns fiscal policy with public health goals. Those people As well, you are making laws to save the life of people, to make sure people live in good conditions. So in case any of us here find ourselves in the position of lawmaking, or we find ourselves in the future in the political offices, don't forget everything we are learning here. Please. Then challenges and concerns. The first challenge to taxing this SSB now. The first challenge, when we say addressing, the tax system we have in Nigeria, there are different types of tax systems obtainable in different countries. But in Nigeria, our tax system is not a progressive one. You will notice that a company paying, let's say, 5 million 10 years ago, is still paying 5 million today. It doesn't matter if the company is expanding, growing or not. They are just giving that amount to the people. So I feel as good advocates of good policy, we should encourage our FIRs and other people, other governmental agencies responsible in that decision, in line with the decision and the rest, to ensure that they review when we come to the recommendation, you see that there. Then the next one is job loss. Now, if we should increase taxation on those Coca-Cola and the rest, so people go out of business. There are people in India, that's the only thing they say. Although when you go to some company, all those people that have mini store for Coca-Cola and the rest, that is what they do. But if you are importing that and those people are able to import it, then you are losing jobs. Then another challenge you understand, you identify is swabbing. Our border is the most secure border in the world, but yet things find their way to the country. We don't know how. So just understand that things are being smuggled. How are being smuggled, we don't know. So that's one of the challenges we are faced with in this country. Then the next one is substitution. When you increase the taxation on coke, you now have pop cola. Another thing is popping up as pop cola. So now it means as much as you're trying to settle one issue, another one is coming up, right? So substitute. You know, for those who, the good economists in demand and supply, substitute, demand, right? When we talk about the substitute demand, what does it talk about? It's not my line, so now I'm asking people. Free of charge, anybody, it's bonus question. I know we have a lot of gurus here. Me, I'm just guru standing before you. Please, anybody. Let's just continue. So now another thing is tax evasion. There are people that, you know, there's a difference about tax evasion. Some people avoid paying that tax. They try to escape, so now how they do this is they do it through administrative work. So instead of them showing how many sugar level, what is the sugar level in those things, they will present false documentation of what they produce. So that's why they'll be able to escape paying tax. The other issue is we don't have the monitoring and compliance. We have them, but we don't have effective monitoring and compliance, what's it called, institution for those leverages. Then also we also need to establish a standard digital tax tool where we can be able to audit those people. Then why the last one is lack of interagency coordination. We have SON, we have NAFTA, we have NDLA, we have Custom, we have all those people, all those organizations, all those parastatals, all those agencies. But trust me, they don't work together, they don't collaborate much. If only those people collaborate the way the military sometimes collaborate, for example, the Air Force, Navy, and Army, there's a time they run what they call joint operation, right? Yes. I'm not a military officer. Daddy, sir, okay, science, his attention is there. So they run what they call joint operation. So even the police do that also with some other paramilitary arms. So now when you do that, it enables effectiveness. It allows you to fight things from different perspectives. I'm seeing it from the perspective of NAFTA, you are seeing it from the perspective of SON, you are seeing it from the perspective of the custom, you are seeing it from the perspective of the immigration. So that will be able to provide sustainable solution to these mandates. Then the last part now, this brings us to recommendation. We recommended a lot of things, part of it Doctor has already discussed, so I will not talk about what Doctor has talked about. He talked about the raise, to ensure the raise in taxation. So now we also there's a need to broaden coverage to teas. You see tea, most of our tea we take. Most of the tea we take. You check, you know that this Arabian tea, the different type of tea. Some of those teas, not even some, most of them have concentration of sugar in the slightest or minimal form. So there's a need for the coverage of those agents to be extended to those areas, so that they will examine what is the level of sugar we have in the product. That way they will know the kind of advice to give the public on what they consume. So now another recommendation is, yes, public awareness, public education, which is what our amiable prof and every other person here are doing now. We are creating public awareness. We are educating people on what they should know that maybe they don't know, or maybe they know and they are ignoring. So this is the purpose of us gathering here. We are to launch public education campaign, so that is what Daddy is doing here for us. For us to know, for us to learn, for us to understand what we consume, and how to avoid falling unnecessarily sick. Then I've also talked about the intergovernmental agent coordination. So now there is a need for our governmental agency, the NAFDA, the NDNA, and the rest, to come together and run what they call joint operation in order to fight or detect companies that produce what's called beverages with high sugars. So now, in conclusion, in this paper we discovered that SSB tax is a pro-health measure, pro-health, pro-youth, and fiscally prudent. It means we should engage in taxing SSB, and as youth we are able to fight, we are able to campaign and discuss with our fellows, our friends, our family members, to reduce the rate of those beverages with much sugar they consume. It will help us in the longer run. Let me just say in the short run, sir. Why long run? In the short run and the long run. So now, also, it will also serve as, Nigeria will not be an example to other African countries. Imagine Nigeria being number 4 in consuming sugar level, down to probably nowhere in the charts. So that will serve as an example to other countries around the world to adopt Nigeria approach or measure. Then the rest, which to talk about the need to increase the tax level, right? Which we all agree with and understand. We conclude that the best way to fight consumption of SSB is through tax, right? It's through taxation system, good taxation system. However, the involvement of youth in the advocacy against the consumption is not better. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Please can you put your hand to the interview? Thank you very much. Lectures that are just given to us. So I think we have teaching us here today. And thank you very much. Would like to give this time to our father, the President of Brigadier General Hassan, our father who is here with us, at least to give us a word of encouragement, more especially to the young ones like us, because at their age now, at least they are trying to maintain what they eat, what they...
The coordinator, the erudite presenters, members of the high table, distinguished students of Faculty of Administration. My name is retired Brigadier General Hassan Lai. I am in my 70s. I served with the Nigerian Army for 37 years. And I've been to places in this world for peacekeeping operations. I want to relate some of my experiences, what we just had. First and foremost, as a child growing up in rural Nigeria, things like all this SSB beverage were very rare. We were not accessible to them. We grow up drinking kunu, different type of kunu zaki, kunu gero, kunu masara, dawa, aya, and when we want to drink garin kwaki, we have mazar kwela, which is also a processed SSB. Now, you are privileged that most of these beverages that were highlighted, if you take them, you see the sugar content that is given. And these are done to warn you that what you are taking is 30% of sugar. And most of these sugars are processed. Maybe our presenter should tell us things like honey, things like sugar cane that I see people drinking, taking to it. When we are kids, we just go to anybody's farm, take sugar cane, chew as much as you can and go. And you do what is called gaza. So when you go, you start, it's almost, you are so full. The things like sugar cane, I think they are not processed. So you are free to consume sugar cane. What about honey? Good. All these things are not processed. One thing I would just want to say caveat. We have a philosophy in this country that defies a lot of rules. Anything that goes up defies the rule of gravity. Anything that goes up hardly comes down. You see, today we have people who are addicted to drugs. And when they are addicted to it, if you like, the taxation can be 500%. They will do all they can to see that they get their drug. So when we tax, like our Coca-Cola, Dim, and what have you, we said, okay, we're going to the taxation. The more you tax the company, the product, maybe the less you discourage people taking it. But those of them who are addicted to it, like this, currently you find everybody taking energy drink. If somebody's addicted to energy drink, if you like, say energy drink is costing whatever, he will do all he can to ensure that he gets the money to get his dosage. When I say all he can, robbery, whatever he can. So, while we are advocating for taxation for this product, we must also consider the side effects. We must also consider them because these are things that are isolated. And Nigerians were very clever. If you say that you want to increase the tax of all these beverages, you will cut corner. You will connive and make sure they provide you with what you require, but at a reduced quality. It's sad that, yes, we have NAFDAC and the rest of them to regulate all these things, but what we have in the market today, most of the things we see, they are all fake products. So a couple of years back, we have this Professor Ekule, whatever, she's late now, NAFDAC, because of fake products, you have to go to China to find out why they are selling fake things to us. And they told us, no, madam, so people who come here, they say this is the quality they want. And this is what they want. And that's why they produce and sell it to us. So we have to be very careful. We start drinking fake Coca-Cola. We are even lucky that this SSB things are labeled. You know the company because they are formal markets that are produced. We have to be very careful. We have to be very, very careful. So I just want to advise this taxation that you want to raise be a boomerang at the end of the day. In trying to save life by increasing the cost, you may create another avenue that will be dangerous to the society. Now, for the erudite students here, you are the advocates, because you now know the advantages and disadvantages of these things. Our parents at home don't, when they are just hungry, some cook. Okay, they will take coke. But the wider society are not privileged of this information. So please, I think the presenters are charging you to be the advocates. Okay? Now you know, because you are enlightened. There's an adage in Hausa, I'm finding ilimi, ekideshe. So you are educated. You are now enlightened. So be the advocates of this. Tell people, the society, because yes, we are just a drop in an ocean. We are insignificant. But you find that the concentric cycle that's so going around, the information is getting wider. So please, you have a task. It's not just to listen to this lecture and then it ends here. Or you want to get the lecture to pass your exam. I think it goes far beyond. This is not a lecture that is only restricted to the academic class session. But it is a social responsibility to enlighten the society. Okay. There are various branches of this SSB. These people, I remember when I was in America, okay, they said, go, they brought Pepsi. And they advertised Pepsi is, just based on modification. But it is the gas that is in to help you, just to ginger you. Then, when we are used to Pepsi, and now they bring steam. When you are used to steam, they bring another one, to keep confusing you. Fanta. The rest of them. But generally, these are drinks that are not helpful because of the sugar content, the processed sugar content rather. So, I too was educated because when we are growing, we don't have the privilege of all this information. We just take whatever we have. Probably they say that is what keeps us going. You see, there's a society today in Nigeria that cannot do with pounded yam. It's a delicacy, it's a table food. And we know the starch content, the sugar content of pounded yam. But they're still going strong. So what we find out is that, yes, sedentary life is very risky as to all this development. So exercise is key. All right, to burn that sugar. And that society that I told you takes pounded yam as their stable food, you see them strong. You hardly find them having this hypertension, all this, because they're all very active. So, activity is key. Even if you don't take sugar, but you follow, you go by a sedentary life, add more to the risk. Talk more of adding sugar in the content. So please, be in the forefront to fight against this dreaded disease. The content of sugar, processed sugar, beverages. I'm just wondering again, I think probably we should extend our dragnet. If you go to 5G, you find what? Lollipop, 5 children, grown-up men, and everybody wants to take me to 5G. What do you want to go and buy?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Okay, and it's very sweet. If you don't take your child by Saturday week L2 to 5G, you are both job. You'll be crying. And if you our wives, women, girls, children, it's 5G that they go. But again, I think we didn't extend our side to that extent. I think that is even more killing because it's sweet, accessible, affordable, and foster social because you take somebody to 5G, he takes this ice cream, he's happy, you are happy, but the health effect. So on this note, I sincerely want to thank the presenters for this enlightenment, and I want to thank the coordinator for inviting me. I thought I was just going to listen, but he has tasked me now to give a word of encouragement, which I'm just doing. So I pray that most of you will grow old as I am. 70 is not joke. 70, and not only just 70 sitting at home, but go around the world. I've seen it all. So I don't know the secret, but I am what I am today. Thank you very much.
For the general. The general is retired but not tired. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. We're grateful for and also privileged to have you here today. Quickly, so sorry, Dr. Hassan, I don't know what to just ask something briefly, maybe 1 or 2 minutes for you to help us of thinking of this honey or sugar cane. Is there anything you can tell us in just that area, sir?
Let me start with honey. Honey actually has a lot of health benefits, not just even taking it. It contains some form of proteins in it, so it's not just added. It's not just sugar. Understand? So it's also a natural source of sugar. Understand? So it doesn't. Your body breaks it down gradually. Okay? Yes. Your body breaks it down gradually, and like I said, it contains some proteins called peptide in it too. So there's a gradual breakdown. As for sugar cane, you see, the sugar cane, yes, it's fructose that's in sugar cane, but the quantity, because of the water content, you understand, the quantity is still not like, okay, let's say we have like this microphone here. It's like that, a long sugar cane, Someone that will take that together, as compared to someone that will take a tablespoon of sugar, it's small. Because that one is just concentrated clay form. But the sugar cane is still, you are taking it from natural source, and there's still water content you are taking together with it. I don't know if you follow me. So you are not taking it direct. And you see the sugar that you actually take, the sugar that you take, some of them are made from sugar cane, but if you see how sugar cane is made, if you see how sugar is taken from sugar cane, there are still some added chemicals to that sugar. Yes, go to YouTube. Thank God you have internet. Go to YouTube. There's this program called How It's Made. I don't know if you've seen it before. Just type how sugar is being made from sugarcane, or there's another listing that we take sugar from. You will see it goes through different processes to get the concentrated form. So even if you are taking it. It's not like you taking tablespoon sugar. I hope.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I just want to ask something before we proceed. Is there any student that want to ask any questions, please?
Question for Dr. Hassan. You made mention of obesity having a link to serious problems like heart failure and hypertension. My question here is, what level of body fat is considered as obesity? And is it okay to add water to something before taking it? Thank you.
The obesity, when we say someone is obese, there's something we call that we use medically to classify whether somebody is obese. We don't just look at you and say you are obese. There are anthropometric measures we use. Okay? So we take the height and the body weight. It's called body mass index. And it's the weight over the height square. You understand? So when we consider somebody to be obese, it's usually when the body mass index is greater than 25. 25. That's when we consider somebody being obese. As for the normal fat, the fat system, fat ratio, I think I will need to check that out. But how we classify, we don't use the content of somebody's body. Because somebody can be taller, and he can be taller and he weighs more than that. Okay, let's say we have someone shorter. Why we use the body mass index is because. Okay, so why we use the body mass index is because the weight of that the person taller, he might weigh more than that person that is shorter. You understand? But that does not mean that person is obese. So we factor in the height. You understand? So that's where the body mass index comes into play. And it's when it's greater than 25, weight over height square, the weight in kilograms over the height square in meter square. Okay? So when it's greater than 25 kilogram per meter square, we consider that person as obese. Okay? So we don't measure, because I need to take your blood sample and just send it to the lab. And even if I want to check your lipid, your fat content now, there are a lot of variables. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. I don't want to go deep into the medical system, but the body mass index is just the simple distance to calculate whether a person is obese. So within yourself, you can calculate your height and your weight. Okay? Your height, you have to square it because it's the weight over the height square. Okay? So most of you will not go above that much time, except you are obese. And once you are getting above 25, then you should consider being physically active and control your diet. Okay? What's the other question?
Adding water to Coca-Cola.
Yes. It's pointless. It's still pointless. No, it's still pointless. You are still consuming that concentrated sugar. I don't know if you follow. It's still pointless.
Okay, sir, I'm discussing about the effect of sugar in our body system. I think hence the whole lot of things is that the sugar is affecting and happening in Nigeria. And most of the time, we don't even know the proper precaution to take on these things. Is it that why can't government stop Coca-Cola from producing it?
I don't know. It's a draconian measure. Just like smoking tobacco, right? They cannot just stop it. Some people want to. You understand? It's fundamental human right? Yes. So the government cannot just take draconian decision like that and ban everything. So people want to take it. It's their choice.
Right? I had someone call you pastor, right? Okay, Pastor, imagine you have a church, right? You want to run a church in somewhere like Kaduna, and somebody just come back and say, because in that church, the drum is too loud, so shut down the church. How would you do?
That's why I will go back, but it will be also setting on my side. It's going to affect the environment.
So now, the same thing. The same way, there are people battling with low blood pressure, right? And sometimes I recommend them to take something, ironically, but with some content modification. So that if you are saying the company should stop from producing them, how those people assess it? So the government have to balance the scale at all times. That's why the best way the government can do that is through taxation, impose the tax, then at the same time control the way things are bringing to the border and the tax and regulation. That's just the way to do that. If you stop it, it's a radical approach and it doesn't always solve things.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for those good. Okay, thank you very much. That is our sponsors who gave us a goodwill message, and then we are happy that they will continue to, we shall continue to partner with them so that we can be able to change the behavioral pattern of our generation. Now, it is very important for you to realize that in our mix, we have a retired general of the Nigerian Army, and then we have also Barrister Umar Sani Bebeji, who is the Assistant Dean of Faculty of Law, and then we have Dr. Hassan Olasen, sorry if I don't call the name well, from Department of Community Medicine, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. And then we have also some other, we have Dr. John and the rest of them. And, the Director of Institute Administration was also around. So it was a full house with the students around. So the university community was fairly presented, and we want to extend our gratitude to all that you have done. And then we are hoping that whenever we call upon you, you'll be able to be around one of these days to come and visit Zaria and see our hospitality without sugar. Thank you very much. So now we are going to get another person online to talk. Professor Audi, are you ready? Unmute yourself and talk. Give us your good message. Professor Audi? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? You can unmute yourself. Okay, so that's all right. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and you can just talk. Come closer to your system and to your handset or laptop and talk. can't hear you. Okay, so go ahead, please. You are not online. I can't get you. I see you.
Okay, I am saying that I'm glad to be part of this organization. I actually wish I would be able to participate fully next time because I was not going to have better to prepare. However, I know that anything that has to do with social mobilization, we expect nothing but the best. And here I will tell participants that 100% you have 100% support in whatever we are doing. And like I said, I joined late, so I don't know how far you guys have gone, and I don't know how long I'm expected to be part of the discussion here. Earlier I had to disperse my postgraduate students so that I can link up with you people to find out what we are doing.
Thank you very much for the goodwill message. We are rounding up, but we are happy that you have participated. Any commitment?
Okay.
Yeah. Any commitment in terms of reading materials for our students?
I present right now, first as an individual professor, and secondly as the director of the Council Writing Center. We have books, especially books that may enhance the advancement of reading culture of our students, which will go a long way in enhancing social mobilization. And those books are going to be singularly contributed by me because they're part of my contribution to knowledge in this our space. So inshallah, you reach out to me, we'll give you copies of some of the books that we have on the ground. We have a brother there for which I was known, and we have one that afternoon again, which is there. So far it's a very new book, but it's not yet available. But when it's available, I'll make it available to you. Inshallah, once you reach out to me, we will have enough books for the students.
Thank you very much.
My daughter is one of your students there. So, it permits I greet you through her.
Thank you very much for that good message. I shall get back to you within the shortest possible time. So, anybody again online who wants to say something? Kappa, IT Kappa, do you want to say something? IT Kappa, do you want to say something? Please, just one small slide. This one. Close.
Sorry, members of the high table, invited guests, my fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, I'll try as much as possible to be in a GP. Even though the doctor has said it all, the head of department, my able lecturer, and our elder brother, the retired general, they have said it all in regard to the implications of the excess sugar in our body. But I would like to highlight, as given by the World Health Organization, that will be beneficial to all of us. And I could remember in his speech, our HOD said this topic is topical. Quite all right, there is no time better than now. And I want to urge the fellow students to use this opportunity to change their lives with regard to the eating habit. Because what I come to observe in this lecture, as the doctor has spoken, in fact, I was shocked. He gave a statistic that Nigeria is the number 4 consumer of sugar beverages. This is very shocking and alarming, and I'm a Nigerian. And in the course of my investigation, I found out that that's in the world, according to the doctor, in the world. In Africa, Nigeria, according to the World Health Organization report, is the #1 in the prevalence of diabetes in the world, in Africa. #1 in terms of diabetes. In fact, according to the World Health Organization report, in terms of obesity, heart diseases, and diabetes, Nigeria is #1. And in the course of this lecture, from the doctor, I come to understand that most of these things, most of these problems come from what we eat. That is where my fear emanates from. It comes from what we eat. And according to the doctor, also, if we can change our eating habits, then we can address most of these problems. Then who is more advantaged here? Most of us are getting older. According to the general, he is in his 70s. My fellow, my lecturer is, you people, you are at the advantage. You people, you students are, thank God I have a little bit of it. You students are at the most advantaged level for now, because you are at the age bracket that if you regulate your eating habits, you are going to benefit more, you are going to live longer, you are going to live healthier, and you are going to live stronger. So this makes this topic topical, as our HOD and our doctor said. So please use this opportunity to change your eating habits. Do away with all this. So I don't know how to proceed, even though everything has gone up, sir. I'm sorry to say. So what I wanted doing before the light went off is to give of what World Health Organization stipulates as in the requirement, body requirement for sugar for each individual, even though it varies from adults to adolescents and small children. And it also varies from women, male and female. As the doctor also highlighted, it varies with even height and weight. So according to the World Health Organization, an average individual, adult, male, is supposed to daily have an intake of 35 grams of sugar. 35 grams of sugar, which is equal to like 9 to 10 teaspoonful of sugar. 9 to 10 teaspoonful of sugar daily. That is sugar. Thank you very much. Processed sugar. When, for women, it's recommended 25 grams. 25 grams of sugar, which is equal to 5 to 6 teaspoons of sugar. And for children, it says it should be 5% of the daily intake. What we mean by daily intake is the amount of sugar that each and every individual should take. So this is in brief. Going further, we look at sugar content in some of the daily beverages that we take. If you look at, for example, if you look at Coca-Cola, it has 39 grams. One bottle of Coca-Cola that you take every day give you 39 grams of sugar. Then you should not make the calculation from it plus the starch. So this shows that as an adult, you need to be careful what you drink. If you look at Fanta, has little, which is 11 grams. Then Pepsi, to my surprise, Pepsi has 41 grams of sugar. Many of us think that Coca-Cola even has higher grams of sugar content, but Pepsi proves to be it has 41 grams. Then Pop Cola 8.3, Maltina it has 10.5. Then Malta Guinness that many people think doesn't have sugar. It has a concentrate of 36.3. We are taking in much sugar plus what we eat in the natural food. Therefore, we should be careful of how we take these soft drinks. Then finally, on the health implications for excess sugar, according to World Health Organization, doctor has given us. Some of these health implications include being obese, and then we have tooth decay, and it can even lead to what they call arthritis or gout. You see people developing the kind of swellings when they are. It also leads to heart diseases. So in terms of prevalence in Nigeria, diabetes, for obesity is present according to World Health Report, both in adults, you can find it in teenagers. Diabetes is present in adults and teenagers, while public tooth decay is only present in children. As we know, they eat a lot of chocolate and sugary things. You find that children used to have this problem of teeth decay. Then gout is present in adults, and heart disease is also present in adults. So all these diseases are functions of eating or taking much sugar. Therefore, this shows that we should be careful what we eat. One of the students here asked on, we have been talking of what taking sugar causes without giving limitation. So these are some of the tips that will guide you, some of the tips that will reduce the risk of sugar in your body. Number one, you limit added sugars in your meal. Focus on food that doesn't have much sugar. Natural, take vegetables, take fruits and other things. This will help. Take a lot of water and do exercise. Number two, you select your nutrients, rich food that are rich in nutrients. We all know, we don't have time, some of these things that are rich in nutrients and less in sugar, those that are less in sugar. Then try and read food labels. When you come to buy all this associated food, processed food, it used to come with label. We don't even look at this label. It is very important. Look at the content of the label. It will tell you the amount of sugar that is in, so that you will know whether it is good for your health or not. Even though some of these labels might be, but still look at them. It will help. Then finally, you can consult a professional or want to eat. We have nutritionists, we have people like doctors, we have a lot of people that are experts on food. So on this final note, I want to still urge us to please watch what we eat, try to regulate our food intake, because in this lecture I come to observe that most of the diseases we have, we eat them by ourselves, and most of the remedies also, we eat them from our food. So if that's the case, let's regulate. And I want to remind you, you are the most advantage in this of this lecture, because you are young. You can start regulating now. Reduce the intake of that Coca-Cola. That energy drink doesn't give you any energy. Give you just energy now, and later it gives you obesity or diabetes. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. We are grateful for this wonderful out of the work that was here for the representative of World Health Organizations representative here. Thank you very much, sir. We are grateful to have you here.
Everybody. So we come to the wonderful part of this program, which is the presentation of awards. And I would like to invite our honored guest, retired General Hassan Lai, to present this award to our distinguished guests. Please welcome him on stage. This award is proudly presented to you in recognition and appreciation of the selfless service and meritorious contributions to the department of the local government service. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Please celebrate our prom, celebrate him. Thank you, sir. It's our father and everything.
Hello. I don't know whether you are all qualified for 40% of the seat. Because from what I've seen and the attendance, I'm really overwhelmed. The attendance is all right, and you conducted yourself to a large extent very well. So we have some lecturers around, and some of them are online, they are grading you, and then I believe they will also. So what I would advise you to do is this. What the lecturers, what the presenters have done will be shared to you. I expect you to go through it. And we have some reading materials we are also going to give you. So please, if you are able to use it, it's going to go a long way in solving your other problem. That's the 60%, right? And those of you from 200 level, I hope you have also learned how it is done. And we hope that when it is your turn, you're also going to behave very well. Thank you everybody for contributing, and I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The leader of the thank you.
Class members, I really want to appreciate everyone for their turnout. I really want to appreciate everybody. I really want to appreciate our guest honors. This event can't be done alone. It's you guys' effort and support. So I really appreciate you all. Thank you all. Thank you, class.
Bello University, Malam Ashri Tijani Zangu, you're welcome, sir. And then, of course, the Dean, Faculty of Basic Clinical Sciences, Professor Wilson Hammond, you're welcome, sir. The Staff Officer of the Student Affairs Division, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, you're welcome, sir. And then the Deputy Director, Public Affairs Directorate, Mr. Vu Ingino Danjuma, you're welcome, sir. Also, sir, it's Professor M.I. Umar Buratai, you're welcome, sir. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, like I said earlier, once again, you're welcome. And this event, launched with the Vice Chancellor, is the first of its kind here in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. And I must confess that each and every one of you is looking good this morning. Please keep the vibe going, and then make some noise about this on different social media platforms. We pride ourselves as the most cosmopolitan, and this has further underscored that. Once again, you're welcome, and quickly, it is very important that each time we find ourselves in a gathering like this, we seek divine intervention for the blessings of the program. May we take 30 seconds to pray according to individual faith, please. Amen, amen. Next is the national anthem. We will all rise for the national anthem, please. We are rebuilding our own dear native land. Those rights and tongue may differ in brother. Nigerians all are proud to set our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a 2016. Please once again put your hands together for yourself.
Actually recognize all the dignitaries in the high table and in the low table as ably recognized by the MC. Our great students, good morning. It is my singular honor to stand before you to witness the first program in this great university, and I am pleased to be the first Dean of Student Affairs during whose tenure this important program is being launched, which is the lunch with the Vice Chancellor. I think our students are privileged. Let me digress a little, Mr. Vice Chancellor, to apologize on behalf of my children from Congo campus. Actually, because today there is a walk round due to Maulid, so the town is completely packed. So the bus that has gone to convey them has been delayed. That is why some of the tables are empty. So this program by time. So if we select, for example, we go to Faculty of Environmental Design, for example, if we start with building, we see who is the first student from that department that applied. Whether it's a she or he, male or female, postgraduate or undergraduate, we select that person. That is the first department. When we select that person from building department, we go to the next department in that faculty. So if we had selected a male undergraduate, then the next, so we are already done with that department. So we go to the next department. We select, if the first one in the next department is also undergraduate, female, which we selected, then we don't select, because we want diversity. So automatically, that is how we select it. So the next department, we select a different person from different fellowship of Christian students in the university, students with special needs, international students. So all these starters, again, are given quotas and were selected. So this is how we arrive at the 100 students, and all the students that we selected came, except two who were in one of the strata, and we reached out to them and they sent other representatives of their group. So that is how we selected them, Mr. Vice Chancellor, and in the next edition of this program, these departments have had their share. So we will again, I was briefing them, I said that is what we call sampling without replacement. So those ones that were sampled, we keep them aside, and then we give opportunity to those departments that have not participated in this. So what we have done now will be stored and be used in the next selection process for the next program. So briefly, Mr. Vice Chancellor, this is the selection process, and we are very grateful to, when we interacted with the students, we were trying to see what we would give them. And I asked the student, what do you want? And they told me that we want notepad. Not writing pad, I mean, not computer notepad. We want writing pads and pen and flash. But when I went back to the Vice Chancellor, he told me that the donors are going to provide something better. And that something better is what you are wearing. The Vice Chancellor, we have never stopped getting requests to join. Some of them came to me and said they went to the Vice Chancellor, and the Vice Chancellor said that they should be included if possible. And I told them that the Vice Chancellor has given us the opportunity and we have designed our process, and I'm sure the Vice Chancellor will not interfere with our process. So those who have not gotten the opportunity this time, be rest assured that there are opportunities for you in the future. So we are very grateful to the sponsors, Zaria and Co, and our esteemed invited speaker. I am sure this program is going to continue. So those of you who came and begged, please get ready for the next editions of this program. So I thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor. I thank you all the speakers, and I welcome you all to this important occasion. Thank you very much.
Sir, please can we once again put our hands together for the Dean? And the Dean has proven that he is indeed a professor of computer science. Thank you very much once again, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, may I quickly, before the next program, the next item, may I acknowledge the presence of the Provost, Postgraduate College, Professor Okubanjo. You're welcome, sir. And now, the next is remarks by the Vice Chancellor. The Vice Chancellor of the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Professor Ahmadu, please. You can do better, you can do better, you can do better. The Vice Chancellor is the reason why we're here. This program is the first of its kind here in ABU Zaria. Thank you.
Moza to you as well. Thank you very much. The chairman of the occasion, principal officers, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, beloved students, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this maiden edition of Lunch with the Vice Chancellor and ABU Future Leaders Forum, holding today as part of our university's 63rd anniversary celebrations. Mr. Chairman and our special guest, ABU will be 63 years on the 4th of October this year. This program has been conceived with one clear objective: to create a platform that nurtures the next generation of leaders for Nigeria. Leaders who will embody knowledge, character, and a deep sense of responsibility to our nation and humanity at large. Ahmadu Bello University has, since its founding, been at the forefront of producing leaders across all walks of life, from a president and 2 vice presidents of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to state governors, ministers, renowned businessmen and women, eminent jurists, world-class athletes, and distinguished diplomats. The legacy of leadership from this institution is vast and enduring. This record is a reminder to us all that the future is wide open to possibilities if we make the right choices today. The program we are embarking today aligns closely with the vision of our founding father, the late Sir Ahmadu Bello, Sardauna of Sokoto, may his soul rest in peace, who established this university not only as a center of learning, but as a training ground for leaders with empathy, a global outlook, and a deep consciousness of their obligations to Nigeria's unity and development. It is our hope that the beneficiaries of this forum, intended to be held twice yearly, rise to that noble expectation, living up to the task of producing the next generation of leaders committed to Nigeria's growth, unity, and sustainable development. For me personally, today's event is also an opportunity to have an open and sincere interaction with a select group of our students. Like the Dean Student Affairs has said, the selection has been wide and representative. It is a time to bond, to listen, and to build stronger relationships that will carry forward the spirit of our university family. I wish to especially appreciate our guest speaker, Mr. Mukhtar Bakari, Chairman of Alternative Bank. His story is one of vision, hard work, and resilience. From his remarkable journey in publishing and banking to his present role as a trailblazer in Nigeria's financial sector, Mr. Bakari's life offers invaluable lessons to our students on what is possible when one is driven by purpose and perseverance. We are especially grateful to Ahmed Zaria and Company for their generous sponsorship of this program. The firm stands today as one of the most successful and fastest growing accounting firms in Nigeria. What makes their story even more inspiring for us at ABU is that it is wholly owned by some of our brightest alumni, among whom is a former president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, who fortunately is not here with us today. Their accomplishments remind us, and particularly you, our students, of the immense possibilities ahead for every ABU student who is ready to dream big and work hard. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and our beloved students, I welcome you all to this special gathering and urge our students to seize the moment to learn, to question, and to be inspired. The future of Nigeria rests in your hands. And here at Ahmadu Bello University, we are determined to help you carry that responsibility with courage and vision. As the African proverb says, the youth can walk faster, but the elders know the road. May today give you both the speed and the direction to lead Nigeria into a greater future. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor. Sir, please can we once again put our hands together for the Vice Chancellor? And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the next item on the agenda is a talk on leadership by Professor Suleiman E. Karwei of the Department of Finance here in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Please join me in welcoming Professor Karwei to the podium.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, the Provost College of Postgraduate Studies, the special guest of honor, Chairman of this august occasion, Senior Partner, Ahmed Zakari and Co., Ambassador Shuaibu Ahmed, the keynote presenter, Malam Mukhtar Bakari, the Chairman, the Alternative Bank, the Dean, Student Affairs, ABU Zaria, the Directorate of Advancement and International Education, other academic and non-academic staff members, the greatest Nigerian student of Ahmadu Bello University, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure and honor to stand before you to make or present a talk on a very important topic. Year in, year out, hundreds if not thousands of books and journal articles, both academic and non-academic, are published on this very important topic. The topic before you is leadership. And I have 5 things I would like to talk about with you this morning. The first is an introduction to the talk, followed by essential qualities of a visionary leader, the leadership responsibilities, followed by things visionary leaders do differently, then finally the conclusion of the paper. The chairman, sir, permit me to start with a hypothetical story. It is said that citizens of a certain country went to Almighty God and complained bitterly. They say, "Oh God, you are just and you are merciful. But look at the country next to us. You have given the citizen of this country virtually everything. Oil, gas, water in abundance, arable land, the best brains you can ever think of. The richest, some of the richest human beings on earth, they are all. Our people are migrating to that country en masse. Oh God, God, you are just. And look at our country. We don't even have water to drink. A large portion of our land is desert. God. Then it is said, God said, hold on a minute. You say, I'm just. They say, yes. They say, okay. That country, just look at the type of leaders I will give them. They will destroy everything. And at the end of the day, the people that are migrating, or people that are migrating to their country, to use Idi Amin's word, now there will be retaliation. There are people who will be migrating to our own country. And this has come to be. The moral of this story, Mr. Chairman, is that if you have everything under the sun, everything is working for you, if you miss leadership, all these things will be destroyed. That is the essence of leadership. So, to begin with, leadership can be a process or people. When we are talking about the process of leading people, that is leadership. When we are also talking about people that lead others, we are also talking about leadership. But leadership is not position. Position does not give you the qualities of a leader. It only gives you authority. So if you are a leader, you have to strive hard to get the qualities of a leader before you become an authentic leader. And leadership is more of science than art. The art of leadership is the practice of leadership. But the science of leadership is the training, the scientific training of leadership. Leadership also is a responsibility entrusted to trusted people to achieve a common vision. So leadership is a responsibility. There are a lot of responsibilities that are tied to leadership that we'll see later on. And the mistake people are making is that when you want to entrust leadership, you have to get trusted. If the people are not trusted, they are going to disappoint you big time. And leadership is a double-edged sword. Many books, they talk about the leader, the quality of the leader, what the leader should do. But they often forget about one of the most important components of that leadership, that is the followers. I always cite this example. If you have the best general in this world and want him to fight this Boko Haram that I press, if you come and pick student to be his lieutenant, that general will never succeed because they are not the right people. So when you are talking of leadership, you have to also talk of the followers, because you have to get good followers before the leader will be able to achieve the vision he has set for his organization. And then the next, leadership is about conviction, not convenience. People always look at the perquisite of the office, not the responsibility of the office. So the major thing is that when you are going into leadership position, you should know that it is a conviction, not a convenience. And great leaders, they have bias for sui generis. You may say that this is the first time you hear this word, sui generis. Sui generis means that if you are a leader, the moment you enter that office, you should get at least one thing that will do that can hardly be copied by another person. That is what they call sui generis. For instance, Sardauna established this university in 1962. That's how many years now? Our Chancellor has already told us. More than 60 years. But up to now, in the entire northern part, nobody, with all our modern technology, with all the money we have now, nobody is able to build a university like ABU. Do we have it in the north? We don't. So that is what we call sui generis. Doing something that it will be very hard for somebody that will come after you to copy what you have done. This is one. Is there anybody who knows Kaduna Polytechnic? That's another institution that was established. Up to now, in the entire north, you can never see a polytechnic that can compare or compete with Kaduna Polytechnic. There are many things that Sardauna has done that nobody has copied. So this is one of the things that a leader should set. They normally say it should not be more than 5. Even if it is just 1. Something that you can establish and everybody knows that it will be very hard for somebody to copy. And that is what I normally do. Wherever I find myself in a position of leadership, I make sure that I leave something behind that it will be very difficult for somebody to copy. So this is very good in leadership. And then finally, on this note, the cause of bad leadership are just as bad or worse than natural disasters. Countries that have natural disasters, they are doing much, much better than countries that don't have single natural disaster, but they have bad leadership. A friend of mine who was a deputy vice chancellor at Bayero University, and my humble self went for an official assignment in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I was representing my Vice Chancellor then because he just made me the de facto Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics and Administration at the same time because none was appointed. So when we were in Saudi Arabia, we saw their educational system and how their lecturers were being paid. One of the lecturers, when we converted his monthly pay, salary, was over 11 million per month, per 1 month, a lecturer. So when we were discussing, he told me that there was a time he went to Japan, and that was when they had one of their worst earthquake. So he was commiserating with one of the professors. He said, "Oh, Prof, you have natural disaster now and often." He said, no, our own is a small problem. Your own in Nigeria is human disaster. It's worse than our own. Human disaster means leadership problem. He said that your natural disaster, your own human disaster is worse than our natural disaster. He said, can you remember Hiroshima? Can you remember Nagasaki? Said, yes. But you see, can you see where we are now? And they are just islands. They don't have any raw material. Zero. But they are one of the richest countries in the world because of good leadership. If it were Nigeria that we had Hiroshima and Nagasaki, I think up to now we wouldn't have gone out of that crisis. So this is the essence of leadership. Now let us go to the essential qualities of visionary leaders. Visionary leaders, they have some qualities other leaders that are not visionary, they don't have. One of them is that visionary leaders, they lead by example. And that is the best style of leadership, leading by example. If you say people should tighten up their belt, you should be the first to tighten up your belt. If you say you want to see good things happening in your organization, you should be the first person to show that to your people. That is leadership by example. The second is they have compelling vision. Vision means dream. We have vision, we have mission, we have goals, we have objectives. These are things that leaders must have before they lead others. The vision of Sardauna of Sokoto was that after establishing this university, he went to Benue State. Then it was not a state. He bought a very huge plot of land, just like a country, to go to that place. And he gave it to ABU. People say, what are we going to do with this land? He said there will come a time that our people who take cattle and farm produce will not be able to go to the eastern part of this country. So this place will be their market, so that the people from the east will come here and buy at our own price. Has that time not come? But we left that place. People have built their houses, now we cannot claim it. But that was the vision of Sardauna. And then visionary leaders, they have integrity. That's very important, integrity. But integrity should be matched with adaptability, especially when we are in Nigeria. There are places and circumstances that you have to adopt. Not that you are leaving your integrity apart, no, but you are going to do something that may look like opposite to integrity, but your integrity is intact. For instance, if you are an MD of a company and you need contract, especially big contract in Nigeria, then you have to use adaptability. If not, you can never get that contract. So that is the meaning of adaptability. And especially student leaders. We always have problem with you when it comes to integrity. Student leaders will go out of their way and start soliciting for money from big people. And when they get that money, sometimes the money doesn't even enter the account of the organization. That's lack of integrity. lack of transparency, lack of accountability. And you know where it will haunt you? It is when you go outside. Because your classmates know this, your colleagues know this. So when they are going to give you position, they will write petition. And they will come to the university, and the university will tell the truth. So you should take note of that. And then visionary leaders, they have what is called triple L syndromes. Triple L here means lifelong learning. So leaders, they don't stop learning, and they don't stop training their followers. That's why now we have what is called learning organization. That if you go to an organization and find that you are not being trained, then you should look for another organization. Because knowledge has to be renewed. So they have this triple L, lifelong learning. Then finally here, leaders that are visionary, they focus on innovative solutions. Now this is one of them. You can see, this is something that has never happened to ABU. Over 6 years, it has never happened. VC lunch with students. This is an innovative way of doing things. It has started, and we hope and pray it will continue. Now the next thing is leadership responsibilities. Leadership is a burden. Is a churn of responsibilities. So when you are appointed a leader, the first thing you should do is what they call benchmarking. You should look at the best organization in your own industry and say, okay, I'm going to catch up with this organization and go beyond it. That is benchmarking. When I was head of my department, I benchmarked my department with another department in Malaysia, not in Nigeria, and wanted my department to be better than that department. So here what you use is what they call matrix. You look at what made them the best. Then you start to implement those things, and then you'll be one of the best. The second thing, I'm saying before you enter the office, the second thing is what they call a sounding board. You should have a mentor. Anybody who doesn't have a mentor will have problem as a leader. But it has to be a trusted mentor. The mentor must be somebody who is trusted. He may be your friend, he may be your former lecturer, he may be your former boss. But the way you select a mentor is by going through his track record. If you don't do that, you are going to miss the point. Look at his track record. Has he been a very good person in his life before you take that? Then the next thing, all these things you do them before you enter the office, is you take full ownership. Taking full ownership here means that you take that organization as your own baby, as your own organization. Don't look at it as like ABU, you take it as your own organization. So if you take it as your own organization, you are not going to steal their money. If you take it as your own organization, you are not going to embezzle their money. That is ownership. And you must have time before you enter that office. This is one of the most crucial aspects of management. Do you have time for that office? If you don't have time for that office, be sincere and tell them, please, I cannot do it. I told you earlier on, when I was doing my sabbatical at Northwest University, you know, when they say you are from ABU, they just think that you can do everything under the sun. So the VC was a foreigner from Malaysia, so he didn't know our terrain. And there was no deputy vice chancellor for him. So he made me the deputy vice chancellor, admin, the deputy vice chancellor, academic, de facto. And then I was the dean, Faculty of Social and Management Sciences. And I was a member of the council. So So you see, the work was just too much. So when he was going, he said he was going to propose my name for the VC. I said, I can. Unknown to me, he went and proposed my name, and our former deputy governor called me. I said, I don't have the time. That's the only problem. So what do you mean you don't have the time? I said, sir, part of my vision is that I'm going to get a first degree in Arabic. So I'm going to register as undergraduate for Arabic. He said, professor? I said, yes, sir. It's part of my vision. So I quickly came back to Faculty of Art and register as undergraduate, a professor undergraduate, under the tutelage of Professor Burutai. He was my dean. And then the next is, then when you have these three, now you know that you are ready for the job. Then you have to set your vision. If somebody takes you as his subordinate, the first thing you should ask him, sir, what is your vision for this organization? If he has 1 year or 2 years and he doesn't have vision for these years, please go to another place because you are going to crash land. So that is the essence of vision. And then the last year is M&E. When you set your vision, you train your subordinate, then monitoring and evaluation, tracking performance. When I was HOD here, I had a file, I call it roving file. Okay, I'm just going to the conclusion now. So that file, I was monitoring all my lecturers, all of them. I had my timetable, so I would just appear, sometimes sit, class for 2 or 3 minutes, and I discovered that one of our lecturers could not deliver anything. So I followed her up to the conclusion, and at the end of the day, we alleged she made a mistake and appointment was terminated. Now, visionary leaders, what do they do differently? They create an incentivized culture of cooperation. You know, organizations, they have subdivisions. So unless you have a system that can coordinate all of them and aim at a common vision, then there will be problem. And the next, they use what is called guerrilla leadership strategies. The Vice Chancellor has used one. That is a situation whereby we'll come with unconventional way of solving your problem. We have problem with our energy crazy bill, but he has come with an innovative way of reducing that bill reasonably. So thank you, Mr. Vice Chancellor. Then visionary leaders, what they do is they are more interested in empowering their people than holding on to power. They are more interested on empowering their people. Nobody can count the number of people Sardauna sent abroad to come and empower others. It was said that one of his cousins, I will not mention them, he came back from London, he had finished his first degree. So people pleaded with him to give him position. He said, no, no, no. I'm Bama Bawa Asharabu. So that is the essence of empowering people. Because when you're empowering, you know the type of people you are empowering. You don't empower any other person. Then the next is they inspire their subordinate towards achieving a common objective, common goal. Finally, they have this intelligence. A leader must at least have this full intelligence before he can be a visionary leader. 1, emotional intelligence. No time for me to discuss it. 2, financial intelligence. 3, economic intelligence. 4, political stroke media now. It's not only political. Political stroke media intelligence. Finally, conclusion. Good. I say based on what we've just discussed, our greatest Nigerian student leaders should take note of the following. Number 1, they should lead by example. Leading by example here The first thing is you should have respect for your elders. Thank God, I always thank our administration for giving us elders that are dealing with you. You can see our Dean Student Affairs is an elderly person. You can see the director of the Directorate of Advancement is an elderly person. So when you respect them, they will serve as your mentors. They will assist you. That is number one. Number two, integrity. Please, whatever they say you should do, please try to do it. It's in your own interest. Obey them, respect them, and they will lead you to the promised land. Then the next is our greatest student leaders should build trust. And the first one is with the administration. And the administration is being represented by the Dean Student Affairs. So please and please, you should establish a very nice rapport with that office. It will help you a great deal. Next is you should be law-abiding citizens. Please, do not break any of the university laws. Because when you start to break our laws, when you go outside, you will break the Constitution of Nigeria. So please and please be law-abiding citizens. Another very important thing for not only the leaders, but the entire student. Please liaise with, first and foremost, the Dean Student Affairs, then the Directorate of Advancement and International Education. You may get international education from you, if you don't know. And then another very important unit that students don't use. I always ask my student, where is our guidance and counseling located? And in the entire class, nobody knows even where it is located. Counseling, please and please visit that place. And now we have a very good counselor in that place. Believe you me, even me, I need guidance and counseling. Talk less of you, so please go to that. Finally, articulate a compelling dream for yourself. Because today you are students, tomorrow you will be our alumni. And the alumni are under the Directorate of Advancement. So please, always make sure that you have collaborative program with this directorate. It's very important because they will lead you to the outside world. They will tell you how you are going to build your career, how you are going to build your academic activities, and what you are going to do next when you leave is our prestigious university. Thank you so much for your company.
Once again, let's put our hands together for Prof. And just like he has said, as leaders, you need to lead by example, and then wherever you find yourself, do not forget where this journey started. And I believe as ambassadors of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, I'm sure you will continue to make the university proud. Once again, thank you very much, sir. And next, with the permission of the chairman, is the citation of the special guest of honor and chairman of today's occasion, senior partner Ahmed Zakaria and Co. And to do that, may I call on the Deputy Director of Public Affairs Directorate, Mr. Bu Inginot Anjuma, for the citation of the chairman of today's occasion, who also doubles as the special guest of honor.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will be reading the company profile, not his citation. It is my pleasure and honor to read the company profile of Ahmed Zakaria and Co., Chartered Accountant. May I respectfully request our special guest of honor and chairman of the occasion, senior partner Ahmed Zakaria and Co., Ambassador Shuaibu Ahmed, FCA, FCCA, FCTI, AMNIM, to rise and remain standing while I read, sir. Ahmed Zakaria and Co., Chartered Accountants, is a firm of chartered accountants licensed and approved by Institute of Chartered Accountants Nigeria, ICANN, to practice accountancy, The firm is also registered by Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) to act as reporting accountant. The firm operates as a centralized coordinated organization with one central office in Kano and one branch office in Lagos. To date, the firm has 4 partners and employs 22 professional staff, some of whom are qualified chartered accountants, chartered tax practitioners, or MBAs, while some others are in various stages of professional qualification. The firm, together with its partners and senior managers combined, have to date provided professional services to more than 100 clients nationwide. The firm guarantees a consistently high quality service through partners, consultants, managers, and associates who share a common business culture, speak a common business language, and most of all, have a common training background. The overriding aim of its partners, consultants, managers, and associates is to ensure the firm's professional reputation with its clients is based upon mutual trust and engendered by maintenance of the highest ethical standards. The accounting firm is professionally independent in all the work it does and in the way it treats all information received from clients. For Ahmed, Zaria and Co., developing a constructive relationship with clients is a prerequisite for a successful relationship. No two businesses are alike. No two problems are the same. Clients don't share the same style. Please join me in welcoming the chairman of today's event for his remarks.
Vice Chancellor of Bello University Zaria, alma mater, Professor Adamu Ahmed, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, the Dean of Students Affairs, Provost, Deans, Directors, students of our great university, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you all. First of all, I would like to say that it's a great honor and privilege for me to be here with you on behalf of our firm, Ahmed, Zaria & Co. And I want to seize this opportunity to congratulate the Vice Chancellor of this great university for this great initiative, Lunch with the Vice Chancellor. Engagement of stakeholders, I think, is the hallmark of leadership, which is exactly
this. We want to understand what are your greatest fears? What are those things that stand between you and achieving your personal goal? What are those things that you are confused about? I promise you, I will look into my life, into what I know, and try to respond honestly. You may not like what I say, but I'll say it respectfully. And there is nothing like a stupid question. So don't be afraid. If you say something and people laugh, it's a good thing. You're making them happy. The more important thing is that hopefully you'll get a useful answer to the question you have posed. And all the things that I cannot answer satisfactorily, I want to believe that there are people here, especially here, who will do justice to any question you have. I don't know how many more minutes do we have. So we will keep to time. Yes, and we have Q&A after. How long is the Q&A? So we have not 10 minutes, we have 70 minutes. No, but I want this Q&A not to be mechanical. I didn't come with slides. Deliberate. So and then I'm also trying to encourage you that we build that circle of trust. And I have the senior assurance that nothing you say here will be.
I want to say, I want to yarn, I want to appreciate of the greatest chairman, the greatest chairman. Big fundamental goes out to our chairman.
Speaker. And just like he has said, my dear brothers and sisters, the ball is in our court now. It is high time, or rather, this is the right time to take responsibilities. Still the crisis at the middle belt, but for now, continue to make noise about this initiative on social media. Let the banter continue on social media. We are used to intimidating other students, of other universities. Thank you. And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, next is presentation of plaques and certificates. But for certificates, we cannot present all the certificates here. So 7 people have been selected. 7 people have been selected whose certificate will be presented here. Others can go to the Student Affairs Division on Monday and get theirs. So thank you. Next is to our chairman of today's occasion, and then at the same time also our special guest of honor, Ambassador Shuaibu Ahmed, FCA, FCCA, ACTI, AMNIM. And to present that, may I invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor Adamu Ahmed.
This work, as you will see, presented to Ahmed Zaria and Tom, Chartered Accountants, recognition of your generous support and outstanding contribution to the launch with the Vice Chancellor and ABU Future Leaders Forum program, organized by Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, today, Saturday, 6 September 2025. We graciously appreciate you for this.
Next is our keynote speaker, Mr. Muhtar Bakari, Chairman, the Alternative Bank.
Mr. Muhtar Bakari, Chairman, Alternative Bank. We took you out of Lagos, out of your comfort. Despite the short notice, you still made it. On behalf of Ahmadu Bello University, this flag is presented to you for being the keynote address speaker at this program launched with the Vice Chancellor and ABU Future Leaders Forum program. I'd like to thank you. Hope that you will continue to accept our invitations anytime we come to you. Thank you.
For the next presentation, may I invite
Mr. Najib Imam is a principal partner with Ahmed Zaria, and I'd like to seize this opportunity to thank your company for graciously supporting this program. And this flag presented to the company on behalf of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Thank you for your generous support.
the first set of certificate. May I invite our keynote speaker for today, Mr. Muhtar Bakari, to please come forward and help in the presentation of. And the first participant for today is the President of the Student Apex Body of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, President of the Student Representative Council 2024-2025 academic session, Comrade Nazir Ibrahim Bello. The next recipient is the President of the Postgraduate Representative Council, Abdullahi Kusugi. Next is Ekanyi Mariama Abdullahi Ami. One of our vibrant international students. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Ambassador Shaibu Ahmed, Senior Partner Ahmed Zaria and Co. for the next presentation. And the next recipient is Bashir Ibrahim. Bashir Ibrahim. Next is Hussein Sana Umar. Hussein Sana Umar. Next is Namo Joseph Nina. And the last but not the least is Shamsia Abdul-Mumin. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Once again, a lost but found ATM card. Please check. International Education, Professor Sani Abba Ali, MNI.
Without further ado, go straight read the vote of thanks. Although both the president of the SRC and the PRC have also done some kind of acknowledgement and thanks, but I think formally, I will just rush through this. I am delighted, very delighted indeed, to offer the vote of thanks at this innovative, auspicious, and historic occasion. We all know and acknowledge that students are at the core. Actually, they are the nerve center of all serious universities. Thus, the decision of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Adamu Ahmad, in this first few months of his administration, to organize this student-focused leadership program demonstrates his correct sense of prioritization. Students are indeed the university, and the university is about students. Furthermore, a significant justification for hosting this program is the important place of role modeling. All the invited dignitaries that we have here are all graduates of the Nigerian university system. They have made it because they attended universities. No investment in our universities, especially the public ones, would ever be considered wasteful or unnecessary. The Vice Chancellor could not have pulled this feat alone. knowing fully well that the subject of leadership is critically important for especially our young people, and the university did not have the resources to finance this activity. And it was therefore logical for the Vice Chancellor, a bit of digression here. Remember, the Vice Chancellor was the Director of Advancement in this university, and during his tenure, he was very impactful in terms of moving advancement issues forward. So it was logical, therefore, for him, as a new Vice Chancellor, to now reach out to alumni to assist. And no wonder the support that we have for this program has come from illustrious alumni of Ahmadu Bello University. We therefore remain grateful to them for coming to the assistance of the university in sponsoring this Lunch with the Vice Chancellor series. As we said, the company itself is led by two distinguished and proud alumni of the university, and the Kano-based company has done commendably by supporting the alma mater in its hour of need. To our distinguished keynote speaker, Tar Bakari, with whom from his CV we really share a lot, I will discuss with you later. We have nothing to say other than to thank you most sincerely. Your address was not only thought-provoking, but also stimulating and deeply inspirational. We have no doubt that it will remain etched in the memories of the students who are gathered here today. On behalf of the committee responsible for organizing this event, we express gratitude to all our university functionaries for their efforts in ensuring the success that has been recorded today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director. Sir, please can we once again put our hands together for the Director? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are gradually coming to the end of this event. But like I said earlier, this initiative is the first of its kind here in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. And as you all know, we are used to intimidating students of other universities on different social media platforms. So please make some noise. Make sure you continue to intimidate other people, so that they can emulate examples. As students of ABU, we set the pace, others follow. So let's continue setting the pace for others to continue following. And once again, this event has been streamed live on the official university YouTube channel, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria on YouTube, so you can log on, subscribe, and click on the bell notification icon for you to be notified each time any university event is going on. And I've also seen some videographers here who have covered this event live for us to make noise, like Karim Pixel and other media personalities here. So let's continue to make the noise. And at this juncture, the Chairman, sir, the Vice Chancellor, may I humbly, respectfully request that the members of the high table move to the table at the center for the lunch. And then the President of the Student Representative Council and the President of the Postgraduate Representative Council should also join the Vice Chancellor and other prominent personalities on the high table for the lunch program. Thank you. Musa Abdelbasit Lugere. Musa Abdelbasit, your ATM.
Please, madam.
They are covering the one behind you too. No, yes.
You can say what?
Yes, Felicia.
These ones at the corner. Let them stay in front. Yeah, I can cut it. Hold on. No. I'll wait for you. When you capture one, then I'll capture my own.
No,
Capture.
I should wait for you too. It's okay, it's okay.
Please maintain the arrangement.
Okay, in my case, I'm ready. Take it. I'm no, not yet.
It's a mistake.
I'll give you a chance. But take say cheese. Okay.
Everybody say lunch with the Vice Chancellor.
Lunch with the Vice Chancellor.
Look here. The great Nigerian students.
Praise.
The great Nigerian students.
Praise.
The great Nigerian students.
Praise.
Look here, last one. Very glad. Everybody say lunch with the